Please, the show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome, one and all, to Pacific414 Pop Talk for Sunday, January 5th, 2025. Along with Baron Orman Tag, I am your host, Mike. Cash Money 007 hopes that he'll be back with us next week.
Yeah. He still passed away from that situation with J-Lo and her drinking out of her shoe, and Ben Affleck has been questioned about it. But yeah, but we'll keep you updated on his condition.
Nah, let's be transparent with the folks. He's dealing with some stuff right now, and you know that's why he's away, and also he's been sick. So when he returns, he'll return.
He always likes starting out the new year being sick, and you know what? I have no problem with that.
Yes. But Cash, looking forward to the day when you do return. You know, it's not the same when it's just Baron and I. You know, we need the whole Three Stooges contingent here, if you know what I mean.
Hello. Viva! Oh, is it fallen? Get away.
But Baron, how are you doing on this Sunday afternoon?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's another Sunday fun day out there. So, hey, can't ask for better than that.
Very nice, very nice.
Well, I guess you could, but you know.
And it's nice to see Jason Fox, 540 Studio. Also, we have Decepticon Caves of Collectibles. I was about to say comics and toys.
Hey. The audience does like that. They do like that.
And then Jace using the emojis. Yes, that's right. Stealth is optional members. And Pacific414 members do have some new emojis to play with. I will eventually create some more. And Decepticon's Cave of Collectibles says my birthday is in 2 weeks, and I don't want anything, not even to spend time with my family. He says just his son, to be honest. Well, that's understandable if you want to spend your birthday with your son. And that's very important. Family is very important.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yes.
Well,
And Jay says if you need a backup, I'm always here. Baron, you know what clip to play.
yeah, I do. I was just on it right now. I just gotta.
That's why I'm laughing, folks.
Oh yeah, yes.
Simping is such a major turnoff to women.
Oh, I know I'm gonna hear it once he gets in here, but you know what?
Oh, you are inviting him on after that gratuitous work of whoring himself out to the cheapest YouTuber. Okay, I see that.
Oh, come on, he's not so bad.
Yeah,
Just don't mention Jenna Ortega around him.
Yeah. But he's not a simp.
So he says, it's good to see Stark of Iron here. Good to see you, brother. And it's also good to see you're wrong. No, I'm Mike. I'm always right. I'm always right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
These people.
And Jay says, the simp is always here. Yes, yes.
Mm.
Yes, and speaking of the simp, he's here.
Hello there.
He's a
I think that was a little over. I think that was a little over the top there.
No.
How can you guys hear me?
Okay, it should be this.
What?
You're a little muffled, buddy.
Okay, so since I am the simp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do this. There we go.
Mm-hmm. You are a little muffled, though, I have to confess.
A little muffled. I need to fix on my editing software.
Yeah,
here.
get Jenna's underwear out of your mouth, man. Come on.
Yeah, right.
But Decepticon asks, is there going to be a Back to the Future 4? I hope not. I really hope not. Can we at least have one trilogy stay a trilogy and not have a fourth movie added that really isn't necessary?
Back to the Future for who? For who? I mean, is there going to be a... He didn't complete that sentence. Is there going to be a Back to the Future for who? But actually, technically, there has been a Back to the Future 4, and you played it.
I mean, I don't really consider it Back to the Future 4. I consider it a nice tribute to the trilogy. And considering you had Bob Gale involved with that game, that really does help out. But I don't know that I actually consider it Back to the Future 4.
I think you should, just so we can quit having this talk about Back to the Future 4. We already had it. It was that game.
How is my voice now?
Whoa! Who's that?
Whoa! Oh my God! You hear something? I hear something. I hear something all the way from Norway.
I know. I mean, all of a sudden, it went from to.
Do I sound better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, software and new computer and software shit. You always need to get the audio right.
He comes on here and the first thing he wants to talk about is his software. Okay, great.
But you can hear me clear and fine. No echo, no lagging or bullshit.
Yeah.
No bullshit. No lagging. No echoing.
Yeah,
no muffling.
You're fine, buddy.
No muffling.
You're fine.
Okay, that's
Trust
good.
me. We would sit back and say that. Come on.
You're not sounding like your mouth is right on the microphone.
Or that you have Jenna Ortega's underwear panties stuffed in your mouth either. So.
No, that was earlier. I mean, what?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen many Back to the Future 4 fan-made trailers. Some are good, and some is like, no, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, Yeah,
I don't downvote those trailers. I just go, okay, but
not
it's
the
just not
best,
for
but
me.
could have been better.
But he
Yeah.
ridicules them in the comment section.
No, I won't even leave comments
I know.
sometimes if I don't like a video. I won't
Mhm.
downvote it. I won't leave comments. It's like, it's not jiving with me, so I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna criticize the creator. I just know that it's not jiving with me.
You suck.
So, Jace, how are things going in the new year for you?
Great. He
Jace?
fell asleep.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to mute
He-
you guys on the other side. I'm sorry because the YouTube was
Oh,
open, suddenly made
I
sound, so I
thought
just
you
had to
prismatic
fix that.
stuff.
Sorry.
It's all right.
What did you say?
I said, I thought you prismatic stuffed.
Oh, no. Just had to fix the audio on the other side.
I asked
No, we
how
don't have any
things were going for you so far in the new year.
Well, it's getting better. It's getting better. The funeral is this week, the 10th. So, it's gonna be a heavy day, but it's getting better for all of us, luckily.
Good.
That's
And again, I express my condolences to you and your family about the passing of your grandfather.
Thank you so much. And other than that, no, I'm happy. I'm good. Other than that, just been chilling, been gaming a lot, been watching stuff. And I finished Failguard finally.
You were determined to do so.
Yes, it's like when I get gifted a game, of course I'm gonna finish it.
he needs his pain.
And
Well, sometimes some of us, we do need our pain, Baron. We do.
I know.
Yeah, I know exactly. I've been rewatching Sonic 3 because it's just a fantastic movie. I have what else have I watched? Atypical Family. It's a South Korean superhero show with heroes losing their powers and stuff like that. Rewatch Craven because I liked it.
I was gonna say, I know you like that movie.
Yeah, I really
We
did.
found the one person.
Yeah, I really
Oh.
enjoyed that movie.
Oh,
It
come
was one of
on,
my
Baron.
favorites.
I know.
We both have movies that we like that a lot of people aren't too crazy about. I mean, I'm gonna continue with saying that the 1998 Lost in Space movie is one of my favorite movies from that year.
Well, I mean, Mimi Rogers. That's all you need. But the thing is Jason's the master of that, though. He goes out there on purpose. I know. If the people like it, he hates it, and if people hate it, he loves it. And I know. I Mr. Contrary, aren't you,
When
Jace?
Rebel Moon,
He just
is
likes
the
stirring
best
things
movie
up.
ever.
See,
Rebel Moon is fantastic. It's the best movies franchise that
Ever.
ever come. Yeah. Other than the original Crow is the first place, but second place is Rebel Moon. Pretty easy.
oh, it already dropped. It already dropped a little bit now. It's starting to wear out. It's starting to lose its sheen. It's starting to lose that shine.
Oh, come on, Baron. Nothing can top the original Crow.
Exactly. That's my favorite movie that ever was ever created. So, but Rebel Moon is a good second place, and Star Wars is a good third place now. So, yes, people, I like Rebel Moon better than Star Wars. Oh my God, this is the end of the world.
Wow, Baron, I don't know if the audience could handle that.
Well, like I said, he likes causing controversy. That's why we like having him around. He takes the heat off of us for a little while.
True,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I'm
yeah, that
sure
is
there are
true.
some that might be asking,
What?
But no, it is true.
You know,
It's
Cash woke up, turned the stream on. He goes, "I woke up for this shit."
Baron. Most people probably turn on the stream and go, "I woke up for this shit."
Yeah, but it kind of warms the cockles of your heart when you know it's Cash doing it, though.
Yes. Well, speaking of Cash and everybody who is watching us right now, I'm sure you're curious to know what are we going to be talking about during this edition of Pop Talk here on this Sunday.
I would
Yeah.
like to know because it's been such a long time since we've done it between the guests and the movies, watch parties, and all that. It's like, oh, I forgot we used to do something called reading articles.
Oh, we did it a couple of weeks ago, Baron. We did it last week, Baron.
We did. I don't remember. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, we got a show today? Yes,
Huh?
Baron.
What? We do?
Every Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Not familiar with it.
Yeah. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, well, you know,
So,
it's me.
today's articles that we will be discussing, well, why don't I just present the first article for everybody and
Ooh.
we'll just get underway.
Wow. What happened to Jace?
He looks grainy.
He looks
Yeah.
like Cash.
Hey guys.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm that emo, but okay. I'm more black
Ooh,
metal. I'm not emo.
Fire! Shots fired!
Wow. I'm gonna call my good friend Ben Affleck.
Oh my god, yeah.
Good friend, huh?
I mean, I know he probably might have poisoned me because I stole J-Lo away, but
It's gonna be chin versus chin, folks. Who will win?
Chin Wars.
Chin Wars. Is that better than Disney Star Wars? It could be.
Just about anything is now, including Rebel Moon.
But yeah, I saw this that Jason Mamoa was finally casted as Lobo, a role that he has been wanting to play for many years. He's talked about this for many years, and also he's a big fan though, so that's a plus at least for him, because he's been collecting comics, with Lobo through the years, and he is one of his favorite characters. But for me, I'm just gonna say it's too late for me because I do not care about this movie. If you know what I mean, I don't care about this movie at all. I don't care about James Gunn's DCU.
How can you say that? It's James Gunn, the savior of the MCU, the savior of DC, the greatest of all time.
And again, we see him all the time, because again, you remember Peacemaker, his Aquaman is also in Peacemaker. So it's James Gunn again. Even though I agree with this, that James fits Lobo better, but again, you're making it really heavy for the audience because you're casting the same people all the goddamn time in everything you do. And you said you were gonna do a reboot of the universe, but you are really not doing a reboot of the universe at all.
You mean James Gunn lied? In typical James Gunn fashion, he lied?
Yes.
How could you say that? He's like the David Filoni of the DC universe. Come on,
Oh
man.
god. Well, that is true. He has a big ego problem. It's like even in the Creature Commandos TV series, he has to have himself animated in the intro just to prove that it's his work. And I'm like, bro, we know it's your work. You don't need to show yourself in everything that you do. We know it's your work.
Do one better, James Gunn. Why don't you just post one of your old tweets about kids? Then they'll really know it's you.
So
Almost choked here.
So just like Robert Downey Jr. is going from hero to villain in the MCU, it looks like the DCU's Jason Momoa is going from hero to villain as well.
Yep. Exactly. No, I know Jason Momoa can do a proper job as Lobo. That is, the stuff that he can play. but it's too late, man. And again, it is in a James Gunn's universe. I don't look forward to his Supergirl movie, his Superman movie, and his other work. I can't, man.
Yeah. So this article was posted on December 30th, and it's written by Brandon Schroer. And it says it's official. Jason Momoa will play Lobo in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU. Momoa previously played Arthur Curry, Aquaman in the DCEU, which ended in 2023 with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The actor has since been vocal about wanting to play Lobo, a character created by Roger Silver and Keith Griffin for DC Comics in the new DCU, though there's been no official announcement about the matter until now. On Instagram, Momoa shared a quote he said in an interview with Fandango in 2023. We're not actually going to read it, but I will go ahead and copy the link and put it into the various chats for anyone who does want to read it.
Yeah, no, I remember that, and he has been showing his interest to play this character for a long time. I remember old interview he had, and when he was called by DC and all that, Warner Bros. To play, and he thought he was gonna play like Lobo or something, and then he got the news you're gonna play Aquaman, and he's just like, what? Like what? What a f? Like I want to play
Yeah.
Lobo. But I will still say, I enjoyed him as Aquaman in this Justice League movie. His own movies were not that good. It wasn't really well written, but he had a fresher tone to Aquaman and less gay than Aquaman, at least.
Wow.
Because as a DC fan, you know how much we mock Aquaman for his powers and looking gay. But there is certain comics where he loses his hand and has like long hair and beard and looks like a Viking to a certain point. That's kind of nice. That's kind of a nice look, though.
Yeah.
That fits Jason a lot better. That's kind of what style he had in the movies. But Lobo is better.
What did Jason Momoa say about playing Lobo? So Lobo was, I collect comics and I don't do so much anymore, but he was always my favorite. And I always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's the perfect role. He said at the time, I mean, listen, if they call and ask me to play him, it's a fuck yeah. I haven't received that call, so I don't want to put any fake news out there. Fake news. That's right. Fake news.
Definitely James Gunn.
But if they ever call me and ask to play or ask me to audition, I'm there. Momoa's Instagram caption for the post, which can be viewed below, simply reads, "They called." Who? The Ghostbusters?
Exactly.
Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
In DC Comics, Lobo is an anti-hero with villainous tendencies who is an interstellar mercenary and a bounty hunter. Like Superman, he comes from an alien planet that was completely destroyed. However, in Lobo's case, this is because he decided to kill nearly everyone who lived there.
Yep.
What a nice guy.
He's the dad you always wanted. He's the dad who came back. But not in a good
you
way.
really made your dad proud with that. Good job.
Tommy, we'll have a word with Jace after the show.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Dad. You're not the ideal dad. I want Lobo.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, who just goes and kills basically everybody, and
I want to be his little Lobo.
Yeah, right. Well, he has a daughter in the comics, though. Don't know why they created a daughter, but he has a daughter. Wonder when he had time to have some quality time with all that killing.
I don't know.
It's like,
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Hey, I just committed a mass slaughter over here, but hey, You want to make out?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's kind of the same situation like with Voldemort when they like made the theater show and it's kind of canon to the books.
Yeah.
Like he has a kid with one of the other characters in Harry Potter. It's just like, when the hell did he get time to have any quality time, and when the hell did he care about it?
Boy.
Doesn't
Yeah.
that sound familiar, Baron?
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound familiar? What's the matter, Captain? Sulu. When did Sulu find time for her family? Well, it's like you're always saying, Captain. You've got to make the time.
Well, just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you don't have the itch. And I mean, again, all you need is 15 seconds top, and it's done. 15 seconds. It's like, it's not her problem. It's
Oh my.
I mean, it's not his problem. So it's like,
It's not his problem.
Who knows? Maybe Miss Lobo's as badass as he is. I don't know.
Yeah, they both, they have quality time. Then after that, they all go around killing everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm alluding to.
We made a life. Now let's kill.
We made life. Now we're gonna end life.
Yep.
Oh.
And it makes my little Lobo hard. Let's do it again.
I will say it like this: if James Gunn ever made a movie like that, I was kind of effed up like that, I would have watched it because that's more into James Gunn's humor. That's what he normally creates, is that kind of things.
Well, yeah,
things that are just fucked up, plain and simple. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat myself. I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Yeah. But no, I'm happy for Jason Momoa. I'm happy that he got the role he always wanted, so I'm at least happy for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, actors always have certain roles that they always pine for. And like you just said, Jace, was wanting this role to begin with. And, you look at Jason Momoa with his hair, with his, the
body and everything.
And
he looks like Lobo.
Structure. Yeah, he does.
Like he was born to play Lobo, so no, I'm happy for him. Even though I don't care about this movie, but I'm really happy for him. That's the main thing. I'm happy for him that he finally can play the role that he wants. And hopefully for his sake, I hope it's going to be well written, though, for his sake.
Well, he's walking around his house right now going, I was born to play Lobo. The steroids told me so. I can't wait to... No.
Yeah, and then he needs to go back to training again because in the last years he started to become more puffy. But it's always funny when he works out. You know what he does? He always talks about it. He always drinks a beer. Always.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
You get the carbs you need, and beer is good.
Yeah, he's gonna be burning it off anyway.
Yeah, and he hates working out. He talked about it. He hates working out. He hates it. But he loves climbing. That's his main thing. He loves climbing.
That's what she said.
Yeah. But he hates training. But it's gonna be fun to see how big he will be for the role again, though.
Whoa, phrasing.
Oh God, that didn't come out right.
No,
after what you said.
No, it did not.
I try to be serious, but I forgot the context what Baron said, and
hey, you're the one that said it.
I know.
So it says here, according to Deadline, Momoa's Lobo will appear in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is scheduled to be released in 2026. The movie
is going to be delayed.
Probably. The movie is directed by Craig Gillespie, who is known for making 2017's I, Tonya, 2023's Dumb Money, and more. Based on Tom Keane and Bilquis Evelys? I don't know. I'm still trying to wake up. I didn't sleep well last night.
I feel you. I slept too much. I slept way too much. It's not healthy.
I
Supergirl,
find
woman.
waking up isn't.
Go ahead, Baron.
I say I find waking up isn't. That's usually when I hurt a lot. It's like, okay, waking up in pain. Okay, I haven't died yet. Okay, let's get this over with.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow series. The movie will star Millie Alcock as the titular role.
She's a good actor, though. She's a good actress, though. I will give her that. She was in House of Dragon. She played, the young version of the main character there. Really good actress. She looks like she could play the character. So, good actress, I
She
think.
played a young Sean Bean. Ew.
Oh, God. Your fantasies, Baron. Your fantasies.
You're the one that said it.
I didn't say.
But I do have a serious question.
Baron Armantag, the
I
instigator.
do have a serious question. Where does this Woman of Tomorrow garbage come out with? It's just like, she's Supergirl. What do you mean, Woman of Tomorrow?
It's like, I remember, Superman,
Baron,
Man of Tomorrow,
what has been prevalent since 2015, 2016 in Hollywood?
Whammon?
Women power.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had Supergirl for a long time, and Helen Slater, or what's her name? She played her in the 80s.
Yeah, 84 movie.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I think she was dating Michael J. Fox at the time.
Yep. And it says that Matthias Schoenaerts as Krem of the Yellow Hill. Well, this is not the Yellow Brick Road. And Eve Ridley as Ruth. I want to see, just because I'm curious, she is going to be playing Supergirl. I want to see what she looks like. I don't know what she looks like.
No, she's a beautiful young actress.
I'm not even familiar with her.
She's just 24.
Well,
she's Australian.
That's probably why. Australian. She's from Down Under.
Yeah. No, she played what's the name of the Renan? One of the Targaryens that has a long fucking first name. I can't fucking pronounce it right now, but she was the best thing in House of Dragons season 1. She was the best part before they made her grow up and be played, because the character got played by a non-binary queer person who also became, her character in the show also became LGBT because of that.
Oh
yeah. So she was a good part of season 1 when she played a young version of that Targaryen in the show of House of Dragon.
I mean, this is somebody's rendering of her as Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't like the purple.
No. I don't know. It could work. I mean, I wish I was more interested in James Gunn's DCU than I am, but
that's also what I say. It's, I wish I could be excited. It's like I like her. I like her as an actress, and I want her to succeed and play more roles. She deserves it. I love Jason Mamoa when he actually gets a proper role, of course. Stargate Atlantis, he was always great in that, for example. One of my favorite roles he did. But I wish I could be excited, but it's just like it's still James Gunn's universe, and I'm not excited for it. It's just like it's a continuity mess. It's all over the place. I wish there was some other person who was in charge of some of these movies, just so I could be a little bit more excited, I guess. Someone who cared more.
I mean, the Peacemaker's official DC FU, except for the Justice League parts. So it's like,
the season 1 is not canon. Yeah, the season 1 is not canon, apparently. It's only season 2 that's canon, and it makes no sense.
Of course, it doesn't.
What about all the story that you created?
James Gunn. It doesn't make sense at all when it comes to him.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
he did it. He did an all right job with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's
But
done
what is it?
decent
What is he
stuff here and
really?
there.
What has he really done outside of Guardians of the Galaxy lately?
Not much.
Uh, give contrary stories and news and what things are doing. You know that the Batman too. They haven't even started anything on that yet, which
No,
I guess
no,
they
and
have.
and
The
story.
Batman 2 is a lie. Because Matt Reeves actually have almost basically
I,
finished the script and he is
yeah,
ready. But
I know
James
that
Gunn,
was the point. That was the point
yeah,
I was making. I
yeah, because
mean,
James Gunn's just like, no, just gonna delay the movie because he's in charge with that other guy. So they are the people in charge to decide what's gonna happen. So they just
mhm.
decided to, delay the Batman movie, and I don't. For me, it doesn't make sense at least because one, Matt Reeves is ready. The Penguin did really well.
Mhm.
This could be a really good thing for the DCU right now. Penguin did so well, and a lot of people are a lot of people are excited to
Well,
see the new Batman movie because of that and see how it's gonna
well,
continue.
but the Batman isn't part of the DCU. It's part of the what they got a name for it
Elseworlds,
now. Elseworlds,
else,
yeah,
basically, yeah.
yeah. So it's like, then why does it even matter? It's like you're just causing more confusion and delay with all that. Um,
Yeah, because he delayed his own Batman movie also, the one with Damian Wayne. And
now,
I still don't understand like why do you want to use Damian Wayne that early in a movie? Like, can't we just get Dick Grayson first? The Robin everybody wants?
well, yeah. The thing is when is he going to retract? I mean, he sat back and said there's going to be no Batman origin story. Well, let us see. Let us wait and see. You can't trust the word this guy says.
What I'm gonna
This
say
guy,
about that, I don't mind it. Like it's like we don't need to see
no,
an
we
origin
don't.
story, but we can
No.
hear about it. Like with the
Mhm.
Batman movie, you kind of didn't see anything with the backstory with his parents in that kind of sense,
No.
but they talked about, mentioned it, and that's something you should do in the first movie. Just mention it at least, connecting it with something, but you don't need
Well,
to show it.
they did that with the Batman 66 series, the first episode. They didn't have an origin story, but he did recant about about his parents and such
Like
and
the
what happened
idea I
to them.
could say you could do, when you have the Batman movie, for example, that he's gonna do, and if you are gonna like, just give a little tease of, the behind the story, what happened with his parents, the necklace, like let him keep the necklace and he is like put it somewhere and he just, he tells a little story, just like what
Hmm.
happened, or just like I miss you guys, or just a little dialogue on it. It's like that's fine.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the one thing I will give the Spider-Man movies from Disney, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the two first ones. But at least what I will give them is that they didn't show the backstory, but they talked about it, just so
Hmm.
people knew, like, yeah, that works.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind that there's no origin story, and that wasn't the point I was trying to make. The big point is that's what he says now, or that's what he's telling us. But can we trust him? Can we believe him?
Yeah,
Then
and
it's going to come out, and there it is. There's the origin story. It's I never said that.
and of course, Mike, you asked what has he really done after, like, between the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff and shit like that. The only things
Sure.
he,
He did the Suicide Squad movie, but
yeah, the
you know
Suicide Squad.
that
The
that was a movie for me. I had to turn my brain off to enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't. And it's too many dick jokes and mom jokes and
Well, that's one of the reasons I had to turn my brain off and not take it seriously.
yeah.
Hmm.
And but he did, that's the thing, he did the Suicide Squad. It's basically just Guardians of the Galaxy R-rated. And then he produced, with his brothers, the Brightburn movie, aka the evil Superman movie with no DC connected connections.
Hmm. Uh, I mean, really. I mean, he got to start with Trauma Entertainment. Not that I'm saying Trauma is necessarily a bad outfit, but they're known for their more hack stuff,
Hmm.
fun hack. But it's like definitely not something to go out there and take uh, serious in such like that. But he just kind of taking a look at a little bit of his list there. It's it's just like, really, what is really, other than the Guardians of the Galaxy, really, that he's really known for, in just being
Scooby Doo.
him. Yeah,
Scooby Doo. That's
yeah,
it.
Scooby Doo.
Like they like the first. They are decent movies, not great but decent. They're still funny.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
again, there you see again, that's his humor that he always does. It's the same humor that he still do today. It's the same thing that he still does. But at that
Hmm.
time, it worked. At that time it worked. But
Mhm.
now it's getting too much. You're doing the same with every like. You are now one of the biggest creators in superhero films. You are running DC movies right now. You're one of the big stars now, and you are copying every other work you have done, like commando creatures. Creatures Commando or whatever, which way you say it, but that's using the same humor, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, just R-rated. The Suicide Squad did the same exactly thing. It's like he's just using the same comedy in every superhero franchise he's doing right now. It's just like, if you want to try to make something, you have to do different stuff. Like like we had back in the day, with the start of the MCU, the original MCU that a lot of people love, right? Phase 1 and Phase 2 and
Hmm.
stuff.
Mhm.
Every movie was different, you know? Like we take Winter Soldier for example. That's a really dark movie, right? Really different, really dark, really serious, right?
Mhm.
And then you go like to a Thor movie that's like, more comedy, a little serious, but more comedy, right? And then you go back and forth, right? So it's like you need to set the tone on every movie. They cannot be the same, especially if you're creating a universe. It's like if you're gonna do the Batman movie that he's gonna do and have the Superman thing, you cannot make them feel the same with the humor and the way you film it or shoot it. You have to make the Batman world a little darker, more serious toned, right? So, but he still keeps on, with the same.
So keeps on with the same juvenile humor in each and every movie of his.
Yeah, even in Peacemaker, same humor. It's just like,
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know where this is gonna end up with the jokes. I want to see something new.
And as I said before, when it came to season 1 of Peacemaker, the only reason that show even got better as it went along was because of the supporting characters, not John Cena as Peacemaker.
Yeah, it's the
Hmm.
guy in the suit who's the funniest. The ninja guy or whatever. I don't remember his name, but the guy who's that's like this SWAT ninja is shoot suit, right?
Yeah, the DCU Deadpool is what I referred to him as. I can't think of the
Yeah.
character's name, but
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he's the most funniest character of them all. Like I enjoyed him.
yeah.
Peacemaker, I couldn't see in the movie, in the show. It's really hard. I just saw Mask most of the time. No, but
James, I guess that's because we're wrestling fans and some wrestling fans like Cena, some don't,
yeah,
and it's still part of that. I don't see John Cena's appeal.
yeah,
I
it's an
don't.
old joke.
I still don't see it.
Exactly.
And some people are going to say, "Well, why did you watch?" Out of curiosity, I watched.
Yeah,
And then, like I said, it was because of the supporting cast that I kept watching, not
that
John
true.
Cena.
Yeah, no, also the supporting cast was pretty decent. I don't like the black chick, the fat black chick. Just gonna say that's because that's what she is. Because they made, that's a daughter of Amanda Waller, and they had to make her. She had to be LGBTQ plus, and later on they made Peacemaker LGBTQ plus. I'm like, why? Why is Peacemaker LGBT and all that kind of stuff? Why? It makes no sense to his character, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it really did it. But
So,
that's James Gunn for you. He'll make decisions that don't make sense, put characters in directions that don't make sense.
yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, it is sad, but when the Superman comes out, we'll see what people say. If people enjoy it, they will enjoy it. Same with Supergirl, but I'm just not excited, and I wish I could trust James Gunn. I did like him with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked his, Slither movie. I remember his
Mhm.
Super movie and stuff that he's done. So he can do some decent stuff. He just has to stop making the same stuff every time. Just branch a little more out on what he can do, and stop
Plus,
lying and stop fighting people.
plus, I think what he really needs is someone that wrangles him in and says, "No, you've done this already. Think of something new."
Yeah, it's like when he did the Scooby Doo movies. He did get a no on certain stuff because he wanted to make Scooby Doo and Shaggy to weed smokers in the movie, but he got a no.
Yeah, and he should have gotten a no because you have to keep those characters true to themselves. Yes, we all get the joke. We all know that Scooby and Shaggy were stoners getting high in the mystery van. We know, but do you
Yeah,
really have to put it in the movie? Come on.
yeah. No, he really wanted to have like weed in the movie and like make them hardcore weed smokers. He said it himself, like that was the plan, and it's like he has some other concepts of what he wanted to do with the movies, but he did get a no. And I think that's good. Sometimes the companies that you work with, sometimes they have to say no, even if you disagree with them or not. But sometimes you can go a
Mhm.
little too far, right? And I agree
Yeah.
Right.
with that.
Well, yeah. Well, just because they're execs doesn't mean that they're always wrong.
Exactly.
You know,
Sometimes
uh,
criticism is good to listen to.
right. I mean, the final, no, the final scene of Casablanca, where it looks like this could turn out to be, that little line that they had at the end of that. Uh, that was done at the behest of the studios, and it became one of the most iconic things in cinema history.
Yeah.
Because some execs said, we need something here. Can you do this? So, yeah, I mean, a lot of execs get way too much heat sometimes. You do have execs that do love the medium. They do love the uh, the universes that they're working on, and have knowledge of that. And it's good that when they are right and they do speak up, it's done, and they don't get enough credit for some of that.
Yeah, that's why I
But then
also
again, you
wish that when it comes to like a
mhm,
Suicide Squad, that's why I wish that, some people in the studio who's, his side producers and friends and others would say no to certain stuff with the movie. Like we have the Thinker, and as a DC fan, I think you, Baron, also know who the Thinker is, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and well, how they made him in, the Suicide Squad movie, like he's not smart as he normally is in the comics. Like he's normally, one step ahead everybody because that's
hmm,
his skills and powers, and
Mhm.
right,
he's really smart. But in the Suicide Squad, they made him a person who likes to do essays. Since we're on YouTube, so I'm not gonna use the full word of what it is, but I'm just gonna say essays. You know what that means, right?
hmm,
Um, and doing the essays on humans who have this alien squid on their head. It's basically the squid, right? Who is taking over their bodies. So he
hmm,
likes to have his time with them
right,
sexually, essaying them.
hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? This is not even funny. Like, this is really creepy and disturbing what you're doing with this character. This
Well,
character is
Well,
it goes to show with what Hollywood is creepy and
right.
disturbing.
Yeah, it's like the Thinker is not like that. Why would you decide to do one of the cool characters who's always one step ahead of a lot of the heroes and is a really cool character? Why would you do that to him and make him like this super essay character? It's like, what the hell are you doing? So there's like
Well,
stuff like that. I
because
wish the studio was. I wish there were people that would step in and just say, "No, you're not going to do that." Done with the case.
just like Mike said, it's just look at the Hollywood again. We already knew that the DC universe in the motion picture area, or the media, at least the motion picture live action stuff. In many ways, they don't know what the hell they're doing or what it's all about, and they're willing to let stuff like that go because they have no idea about these characters. Um,
They
and of
don't
course,
care to do their research on
yeah,
these characters, proper research.
Right, and the perfect example of that is bringing James Gunn, be
Yeah,
in charge of everything.
James Gunn, who told John Cena, "Oh, don't read any of the Peacemaker comics. We're not even going to go off that."
Yeah, and that's so
Right.
funny because James Gunn claims that he's such a big comic book fan and he knows most stories and he's just like one of the biggest comic book guys ever.
Well, I mean, underground comics doesn't necessarily mean you know anything about DC or Marvel.
No, it's like he's like that's the one of the problems with him is that he thinks he is the god of comics right now. He thinks he
Yeah.
knows everything. It's just like if you're not, man. It's like I bet you, Baron, could outdo him with a lot of comic stuff that he doesn't even know about.
Yeah. Or
Easy.
even creating something new. It
Yeah.
just it just takes a little bit of research. But it's it's been said before. It's his ego. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
he thinks he wants to twist things into whatever it is that's between his ears. I mean,
He
we already.
is like the modern version. He's like the modern version of Bryan Singer. It's like I liked a lot of Bryan Singer's work with X-Men. I did.
Mhm,
But Bryan Singer, he had his issues and got canceled for certain stuff that has been claimed, not proven, but claimed a lot.
mhm,
Mhm.
But he was just really the same way, He said, to the cast when they, did the first X-Men movies and the X-Men movies, don't read the comics,
mhm,
don't read them. But I remember some of the cast members they talked in an interview that when they got that information that they were not going to read comics, they did sneak in comics to read
mhm.
because they wanted to
Well,
learn about the characters, and I think that's important. Learn a bit about the characters, how they are, and understanding them.
mhm. Well, see, that's just it. Bryan Singer and James Gunn seem to have the same problem, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Except the big thing was is James Gunn actually put pen to paper and put it out there on the internet, which, of course, once it's there, it's
yeah,
always there.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, it just kind of shows that, I'll just sit back and say it. I think James Gunn is a very sick individual. I think he's mentally unbalanced. I think he is definitely not proper for this job that he's gotten. His resume isn't that impressive. I don't know why he was placed in charge of this, just because he did good with Guardian of the Galaxies. And of course, I never saw the Scooby Doo films, but obviously there's people
I
that do
only
like
watched it
those
for
movies.
Linda Cardellini.
There you go. That's all you need.
yeah. And
But
Matthew, who plays a perfect Shaggy and got the
mhm,
role more after too. He still plays Shaggy and stuff.
Yeah, he does
right,
voiceover work.
Zoinks. But with that is like, really, honestly, what is it that James Gunn really did to impress anybody to be where he's at, besides Guardian of the Galaxies?
Nothing.
Nothing, really. His stuff
And,
is crap.
and let me ask this question: is the Supergirl movie, Woman of Tomorrow, gonna be a success, even with Jason Momoa? And we know that he does have a legitimate fan base.
Yeah.
Is that going to be
Only,
enough to carry in the movie?
only if they bring Ezra Miller in as the Flash. I just bring that point up to remind everybody that Ezra Miller was the only one that they kept around from that lot. I mean, he did try to get Ben Affleck in to do a different role, which Ben said, "Fuck you." And of course,
Yeah.
Jason Mamoa he brings back. It's like, well, if they're good for doing something else, why not keep them where they were at? But yeah,
Yeah, and it's kind of sad too because this is Millie's movie with the having her own being the star of the movie.
Yeah, this will be her film debut.
But the big problem again, when you are getting Jason Momoa in, is like he's gonna be the one who carries more of the film than her. People will care more about him than her, so she will not get the spotlight. When we
Yes, you want to know why? Because she doesn't have the name like he does. They need somebody
exactly.
with the big tentpole name to carry the tentpole film that they hope it's going to be.
So when we
But
hear about it, what are people gonna say? Oh, did you see Jason Momoa? Jason Momoa, he's gonna be the main.
we
well,
still have a year and a half before this thing is even released.
yeah,
And who's to say it's going to be any good? After all, I agree with Jet Sparks here because I've been saying it myself on Pop Talk many times. There is such a thing as superhero fatigue.
It has become a thing.
And before anybody says, well, what about Deadpool and Wolverine? Folks, Deadpool and Wolverine was Ryan Reynolds all the way. That's why people went to see it. Because Ryan Reynolds spearheaded that thing. Yeah, he did have to comply with some of Disney's demands, but he also fought against some of their demands to take certain things out.
Yeah, like She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he took her out.
And she complained about it. When
She's still complaining about it.
No.
Tatiana Maslany is still complaining about it. And hello, Christian Phantom Nerd.
Hail, hope you're doing good. Hello there.
Well, I partially agree with the statement about superhero fatigue. I don't think there's necessarily superhero fatigue per se. I think there's fatigue on how the superhero films have been being brought to us. It's just the same bland garbage. There's no growth, really. It's just
repeating a lot the same.
Right. I mean, it's like, okay, copy paste is so formulaic.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
Same movies with different skins.
Right. And people who don't really know what they're contributing to. I think that is the problem. I think if he came out, well, again, Deadpool and Wolverine, being that it really broke the current mold of the garbage that we have been getting, they just need to get out of that BS where, we got to gender, race, everything, swap everything. We need to have these messages of power, and I'm not talking about superpower, the political bullshit in there, and just get right back to what we need. A good film, good story, something that either hasn't been done or hasn't been done in a long time. Because there was
unfortunately, when it comes to the gender and race swap, we're not done with that yet.
Oh, I know.
We got a story coming up that we're going to talk about, and
right.
It shows that we're not out of the woods when it comes to characters being gendered and race swapped.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think we are in the last gasps of it, but yeah, we're still in it.
And speaking of our next article, unless you guys have anything else you want to add to this article we were just talking about.
Fuck James Gunn.
Well, the thing is let's see how Superman does. If Superman falls on his face, okay, and that's going to be what, I don't want to drag this on any further, but I'll just make it quick here. What do you think the fate of James Gunn's vision will be if this Superman film that he's putting a lot of stock on flops?
And it's going to be drastically changed. I think they're going to pull in the reins on him creatively if the Superman movie flops.
That's going to be interesting to see.
Because they're expecting him to deliver.
Right.
Not so much Peter Safran. They're expecting James Gunn to deliver. They're expecting
because
him
he's
to hit
the
a home
god of
run.
comic book movies to them.
Well, plus he's been shooting his mouth off so much. He's making sure he gets his face out there. And that's not necessarily what the studio wants. They want the product out there, not James Gunn, who keeps on changing his stories. So, which even the densest of studio execs knows is a bad thing.
He's the boy who cried wolf of comic book movies.
Yeah. He's going to take all the fame from them. That's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I did this. Look at me. I'm the best. I know everything.
So I think let's see how this Superman film, and it'll be absolutely kind of funny if his project flops, but the Batman Part 2 succeeds. What will that say? I mean, the Penguin's already getting a lot out there, despite the lukewarm, and I think it's safe to say lukewarm to the Batman. There's people have, in the same breath have both good and bad things about it, about that film. I don't think there's anyone going out there saying that this was the ultimate. but it was a good effort or whatever, or they liked it. But if you got, of course, the Penguin series, and then you're going to have the Batman too. And I think there's one other project out there that's part of this Elseworlds. If that shines over James Gunn, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, unfortunately, they did cancel one of the other projects that Matt Reeves had in stock, and that was the Gotham police stuff.
Yep.
With the asylum and police stuff and shit like that. And I think that could have been really cool. Like, we saw what he did with the Penguin, and it's just like, dude, you know how to hire writers, you know what to do with this universe. Like, you have everything set up really well. And one of your projects got canceled. It's like, dude, that sucks, you know?
Mm-hmm. And of course, that the DCU is going to suck even more when Screen Rant is raving about how the first look at Gotham City made their nipples hard.
Yeah.
Whenever they get excited, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of maximum suckage, that's certainly what it sounds like it is going to be coming up with this next story we're going to be talking about.
Boy. That was a good segue. A good segue. Don't you think, people? Yeah.
We have this article.
Plot details, okay.
We have this article from Geek Tyrant, and they supposedly have some plot details when it comes to Amazon Studios' He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie. And as you can see here, it says Masters of the Universe plot details reportedly sees He-Man go from working a boring office job to Eternian hero. Yeah, that'll put some butts in the seats.
It's like we already know a little bit about this movie. You know, it's similar to the Superman-styled story, and it's on Earth. And but I'm happy we're getting more information, hopefully, about the movie, what this is going to be about. Again, why can't we just get a proper Master of the Universe story, like in the universe of it, and not on Earth? You know.
And Baron, hold off on playing any of the clips just yet.
All right. I was going to sit back and say.
I was just going to say, let's get some context, and then.
I was just going to say one thing. The only the seat that my butt will be seen is the couch as I'm watching something else. That's all I want to sit back and say. But back to you, Mike.
All right. So this is by Joy Power. It was posted a few days ago. And it says the live-action Masters of the Universe reboot from Amazon MGM and Mattel seems like it's going to take He-Man's origin in an entirely new direction. A direction that's not necessary. You hear me, Amazon MGM? You hear me, Mattel?
Exactly.
Kevin Smith goes out there and says, I can make the worst He-Man adaptation ever. Amazon goes, hold my beer.
Hold my beer, baby. We're going to do it even worse.
So the article says that this direction is going to be a polarizing direction. And that fans are going to find it interesting. Huh. Really?
Okay.
If the rumor plot details are accurate, this upcoming film will reimagine Prince Adam not as the Eternian hero fans know, but as a regular guy on Earth, marking a huge departure from established lore. Wait a minute. Didn't the 1987 take a departure from the established lore by taking He-Man, Tila, and Man-at-Arms away from Eternia and having it mostly centered on Earth?
And that's where we get the dollar store Oracle.
Yeah, Gwildor. So it says, according to scooper Daniel Rickman, the film introduces Adam as an ordinary man working a boring office job in the real world. Yeah, well, what happens when the Bobs come to see him?
bob and weave.
Exactly.
What happens when they ask him?
What would you say you do here?
The
Oh,
Masters
man.
of the Universe stories, as per this concept, are merely tales Adams heard as a little kid. This twist aligns with a rumored synopsis previously released. 10-year-old Prince Adam, who crashed to Earth in a spaceship and separated from his magical power sword, the only link to his home Eternia. After tracking it down almost 2 decades later, Prince Adam is whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the evil forces of Skeletor.
A.K. Jared Leto.
Yeah. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
So he's going to be about 30 years old then. Okay, I thought Adam / He-Man was younger than that, but okay.
Yeah.
He's getting close to that prostate exam age. So.
Well, you know who they could have had as He-Man if they had casted him? Zac Efron.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Zac Efron in Iron Claw, he looks exactly like He-Man. He looked like a live-action He-Man. All you would have to do is bleach his hair blonde, and there you go.
Yeah, because he has the face now, he has the body for it, you know, he has everything, you know, and he's a good actor with the right script.
He is. And he was terrific in Iron Claw.
Iron Claw. He was amazing, dude. That was one of my favorite movies of the year or two at that time, so that would have been great, you know? Proper story with He-Man, you know, Master of the Universe, a proper movie with that, where you have him, you know, on his planet, and, you know, we have the whole war with Skeletor and everything, and you have Zac Efron as He-Man.
Mm-hmm. And this article goes on to say this reimagining would be the first time Prince Adam is portrayed as growing up on Earth before returning to Eternia, though the 1987 Dolph Lundgren movie also included significant Earth-based storytelling. Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, you did.
I didn't read this article ahead of time. I never read any of these articles ahead of time. I want to give you my reaction to reading these articles right on the spot.
Well, see, what they're doing is they're just copying you. You said it, and it's like, oh, we better throw it in now.
Yeah. While this approach could create a relatable stranger in a strange land dynamic, it might not sit well with longtime fans of the franchise. For many, the idea of He-Man's backstory being rooted in Eternia is central to his character.
Yes.
No shit, Sherlock.
That's what people want. They want him to be there. They want a story there. They want to have a proper movie that is not set on Earth.
Steering away from this lore may alienate fans who prefer the classic mythos, even as it is looking to draw in new audiences with a more grounded narrative. You don't need to do that. You take the established mythos that was established in the many comics that came with the figures, in the Filmation animated series, in the 2002 animated series.
And you can draw in new audience with that too. It's
You do it properly, you can do that. But no, they're gonna have the Bobs come in and ask Adam, you know, what does he do here? And you know what he's gonna tell them? Adam, being now from Earth, is gonna tell them this.
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
And when they go to fire him, that's when he's gonna find the power sword and say this.
By the power of Grayskull.
like when you look at that, even animation, it looks like Zac Efron. You know, Zac Efron looks just like him. It's crazy.
It is. It is. So
it's like
Of course, talks about certain way may alienate fans who prefer the classic mythos. It also mentions that the actor who will be playing Prince Adam He-Man, Nicholas Galitzine, and Camila Mendez as Tila. Although I looked at Camila Mendez and I'm thinking she's miscasted as Tila. She's better suited for Evil Lynn because she looks more like Evil Lynn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Allison Brie as Evil Lynn. And of course, Idris Elba as Man at Arms, while Jared Leto will be playing Skeletor. I'll go ahead and show this, Jace.
So there we go. How could you say he's not perfect fit for He-Man?
Yeah, and especially if you want to have He-Man be in his 30s.
Yes, and bleach his hair or wig, whatever. But this is from Iron Claw, so. But how can you see, guys? This was the perfect casting, and with a good script, he could have done this justice. Easy.
Mhm.
Well, why are they copying Son of Zorn?
I don't know.
I
They have
mean,
no
you already,
new ideas. That's why.
well, I mean, you had that spoofing, whatever, where you had the animated He-Man like character, who's also balding, uh, and it is a real human, real life looking, former wife and son who's supposed to be, half, uh, and all that stuff. I mean, again, it's like, okay, we come over and now I'm working in an office. Uh, in this show, it's like, come on, you don't need to spoof a spoof.
No, they don't. They seriously don't.
Exactly.
And of course, then the article goes on to mention how it's going to be directed by Travis Knight, this He-Man movie, and it mentions the script writers, Chris Butler, who wrote the original script, and then David Callahan, and Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Ten Rings, Todd
Ugh.
Black, and a few others are producing. But the last part here says reimagining a beloved character like He-Man is always risky. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, it's risky, and yeah, you say that, but the rest of us here, well, we're just gonna tell you the hell you say.
The hell you say? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
I mean,
yes, I'm not the biggest He-Man or Master of the Universe fan, but at least I know the core of it, the blueprints of it, and the stuff that I've seen through the years. And it's not that hard to create a good movie out of it. You just need the right people, right casting, right everything right, and dude, you will get new audience, you would get old audience, and just make a decent, good movie about it. It's not that hard of a concept.
No, it isn't. But to Hollywood, it is hard. They don't know how to come up with new ideas. They
No, because they hire
go
people
along the
that are not
corporate line.
fans or cares about these universes. They only care about getting people who will do whatever they want.
I mean, look at it this way. Again, like I said, you could add elements of the Filmation animated series to 2002 animated series and the original comics that were packed into the series. But you could take elements from the 1987 movie and adapt them for this movie.
Yo.
Make them a whole new thing. Use them as a foundation and build upon it. But no, we're going to be watching Masters of the Office Space.
Oh God.
They're gonna be wondering, PC load letter. What does that mean?
Yeah.
That's gonna be who Adam's.
Why is this guy so
not
buff?
Skeletor.
Here I thought it was just The Office.
No,
Then you
no.
get Skeletor coming in there in a suit, and he's the chief of the whole office.
Skeletor's Lumberg. Skeletor's
Yeah.
Lumberg.
Yes, he is.
So, Adam, What's happening?
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. Yeah, that would be great.
Man, I can
I know that. I
imagine
know
it
that
too.
was
That
a
would be.
piss poor Skeletor impression, but
But no, I get you. It's like I can see it for me. Oh god. They make it so easy to mock. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
it's Man at Arms. Well, how hard of a name is that to pronounce? Man at Arms.
Oh god.
You
Oh
know what?
man, like
Well, what is it, Mechaneck? Come take out the stick. Oh, that's Tila over there.
like we could make a whole spoof out of this. That's the funny
Is
part.
Tila gonna be working at Shotsky's? And she gonna have
Oh.
enough flair?
Oh god, exactly, yeah. Oof.
I know I'm making a mockery of this. You have to. I know some might say, "Oh, you don't have to, Mike." Yeah, you do. It comes to a point where you gotta laugh.
Yes.
Yes, Tila, you don't have the right amount of flair. You see Beastman over there? He has the perfect amount of flair on his vest.
No, we can't be gloom and bitter all the time, you know. We need
No.
We need to be light and humorous sometimes.
I am amused.
But I
Just
will
like
give
Ash.
I will give the author of this article credit. They are saying they are worried about this movie, but they hope that Knight manages to deliver a film that fans will love. Hopefully, these reports on the plot are not true.
Yeah.
And I'll give Travis Knight credit. He did an all right job with Bumblebee. I still think the best part of that movie was the opening few minutes on Cybertron.
See, what's going to happen is Adam's going to be there at the desk. He's going to be opening up letters, not realizing that his letter opener is the Sword of Power.
Mm.
And he finds out that it is because one comes in from utilities and I have the power bill. And boom.
But no, I also will
drinks
give it
the
up
He-Man
for
Victor.
this writer
One
at
class,
least,
no.
because it doesn't sound like ChatGPT wrote it for him.
No, doesn't sound like it at all. But
And
you know who could be Milton and say someone took my stapler? Ram Man. Somebody took my stapler. That's
oh God, I can see it for me.
I'm gonna ram this place down.
He's
I
gonna go
can do it too.
And then he turns into He-Man wearing the loincloth, and then he gets sent to HR for inappropriate clothing. And then that's how they could do that film.
Yeah, Trapjaw could be the HR person. You do realize we have a strict dress code, and it was a casual Friday, and even for casual Friday, this is not appropriate.
Who could Fisto play? You got to have Fisto in there somewhere. I've been fisting as much as I could.
Oh, good lord.
Oh gosh, I don't know who Fisto could be, but would I embrace this fresh take? No, I would not. I am gatekeeping here. I'm admitting it. I'm gatekeeping here. I'm standing my ground.
Sometimes there is good gatekeeping on things.
Well, if gatekeeping is done correctly, it's a wonderful thing. And this is a wonderful thing. It's like, okay, we've done this road how many times? You haven't learned your lesson. Bad studio. You got to roll up the script and start swatting them over the nose like they just pissed or shat on the carpet. And it's a bad studio.
Exactly, and again, they have the blueprints right in front of them, but they don't care about the blueprints.
What blueprints? Blueprints? What are you talking about? These blueprints, Jace?
Yeah, no, it's probably just all in my head because they like to tell us that there is no source material. So,
but Jace, there is no source material. Masters of the Universe never had any source material that was created for the toy line. There was nothing that never, ever, ever inspired
Not ever.
Mattel
Yeah,
to
nothing.
create He-Man
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
rest
It
of
was
the
Conan
Master
action
Universe
figures.
characters. Baron,
It's
I was gonna get to that point. You spoiled it, Dan.
it's spoiled.
Well, it's not true though. But it's not true. But okay, sorry. About that.
They were gonna try to get the license to produce Conan toys, but they couldn't. But yeah, this movie comes out on the 5th of next year, so that means we're gonna have Superman next year and Masters of the Universe. Oh gosh,
Superman is this year. Supergirl is next year.
I know. I said Superman's next year. Or this year, whatever.
Superman is this year. Supergirl is next.
The point is the whole damn point I'm trying to make is that we're gonna have stinkers in the box office, if there even is a box office left next year.
Exactly.
Are you missing cash now, Mike?
I think Jason's been hanging around cash too long.
Exactly.
And now Jason's a nipple. Come on, man.
I know, you're drinking the frowning nipple again.
Cover up, man.
Am I nipple again?
You're a nipple again.
Not for me. What the hell? Oh, sometimes, man.
Put a shirt on, man.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to fix that issue, James. We're gonna go ahead and go on to our next article here.
Well, let's sum up He-Man, this He-Man film.
Can you see my character now?
Yes, I can see your avatar. I can see your avatar.
In fact, the moment your avatar appeared, this happened.
Baron, Cash isn't here.
Well, he's in the role today. In the role of Cash Money is Jace Fox of 540 Studios. There.
So let's go ahead and move on to our next article, shall we?
Oh, Lord.
All right, so we have an article from that Park Place, and let me maximize this a little bit more so everybody can read it if they choose to read along. And this article from that Park Place says, fired X-Men 97 showrunner slams Marvel for race-swapping white villains into black people after new Spider-Man cartoon trailer.
And I just want to say also one thing about this guy who also did X-Men 97. I'm not going to let him go off the table with certain stuff because he's really into some weird stuff when it comes to characters. And that's not okay, but that's another case.
Well, weird stuff, huh, Jace? Weird stuff, huh?
Well, let's see. Bryan Singer, James Gunn. Now this. Do you see a trend here, people?
Oh, I see a trend, and it's not a trend that anybody should welcome.
Oh, I'm not saying welcoming, just we see it. You know?
But I will say I've seen a good meme about, black Norman Osborn. It's a funny meme, but I cannot share it online.
No, don't.
But now race swapping a white guy into a black guy is a bad thing because it's a villain.
But weird people in Hollywood.
The hell you say?
And let's get down to the nitty gritty. Make sure that everybody has the link on the various platforms that we're currently streaming on, and those platforms are YouTube, Rumble, and X. So,
you're streaming on X too this time.
Yes. So, anybody watching, hello. Don't be shy. Say hello, and let's have a conversation. Let's sit back and enjoy this conversation.
We don't fight, at least in the first day.
Well, Baron does, but
he's a biter.
So, this article from that Park Place was posted on the first of the year, and and it's by M. Montanaro, Mike, not Montero. But as it says, fired X-Men 97 showrunner slams Marvel for race-swapping white villains into black people after new Spider-Man cartoon trailer. There you see Norman Osborn. And it says Beau DeMayo, the fired showrunner of the Disney Plus animated X-Men 97, recently voiced strong criticisms against Marvel Studios, particularly targeting the practice of race-swapping white villains to black people. The latest attack came in the wake of the trailer for Marvel's new Spider-Man animated series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, where Norman Osborn, a traditionally white character, is race-swapped into a black man. Of course, Osborn eventually goes on to become Spider-Man's arch nemesis, the Green Goblin. DeMaio took to X to express his concerns. And this is his tweet. Here, let me rephrase. Hey, at Marvel Studios, please stop race swapping white villains to black people. It reads funny. Kane, High Evolutionary, Norman Osborn, Electro, Mordo. They're not going to stop doing it. They're pandering. They think it's the best move for their audience.
But the thing is now it's bad because they're turning blacks into villains that were normally white, and you can't have that narrative. It goes against the narrative. So now we finally got the line that they'll cross, that they don't want crossed. And,
no, exactly.
Now, right? It's how can you keep up the what would you say, the bullshit,
the charade?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know some people say it's charade, but I say it's charade. Because that's what it's been. It's been a charade the whole time. Hollywood doesn't give two shits.
Mm-hmm. They don't care
and
at all.
If I'm seen fired up this morning, I am.
Yeah, no, they don't care at all, man. They only want their diversity and the woke point that people used to call it, and that's what they want, You need to have the non-binaries, the race swapping, ginger side, removing all gingers, and everything. So yeah.
And Jed's right. Jed's right, because here's another sad fact, folks. Guess what? Each and every one of us, regardless of what creed we are, what color, what creed, we all have that little tendency for some, and for others, and it's always there, to be nasty, to be mean, to be evil. None of us are perfect. None of us are angels.
Mm-hmm. And besides, playing the villain is fun. Just listen to the late Tony Todd, who had many a villainous role. I mean, to sit back and say, no, we can't have a black villain. Or, we can race swap the other way, but not this way. It's like, isn't that
because we're not going to use real black villains from the comics, because that's no fun.
But the big thing is, though, isn't that just as racist? Isn't that just as bullshitty? Because now, one of the things people say is they love the actresses say, majority of them, not necessarily all of them, that have the opportunity, they love playing the villain sometimes more than the good guy. They can get in the role. So now you're going to take that away? Now, I'm just playing asshole advocate here. As it goes, I don't think there should be the swapping at all going on there. Just like Jay says, there's already enough out there that you can bring in, or you can create
it's just like
brand new one.
Yeah, you can get some new ones, you can get some old ones, and especially there's a lot of characters we have not seen on live action screen or animations. It's like, why can't we just put them in? Like, that would be fun to see some new characters, black characters, Asian characters. Why? It doesn't matter the color, but it's so many other characters you could use just to spice up the stories and do something new.
Yeah, and you know what? Even Jet is saying he's tired of Hollywood pandering to him.
Mm-hmm.
giving them their crap, their garbage, their hand-me-downs, because that's what they're doing. They're taking established characters and they're changing their skin pigmentation and making it a hand-me-down. Nobody wants a hand-me-down. Not in their fiction, not in real life. Nobody wants a hand-me-down. Now, I understand if, the parents can't afford to buy, new clothes for a younger sibling, so you get some of the older
Yeah.
siblings' old clothes. I get that. I'm
Mhm.
not insensitive to that. But when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to Hollywood, video games, comics, TV shows, nobody wants a hand-me-down character. Nobody. Hey, you like Norman Osborn? Well, guess what? But now we're gonna change him to this, that, and the other.
Mhm. But they'll go out there also and say, "Oh, you're not part of this quote unquote protected class," because that's how they
Yeah.
look at it. Like there's some endangered animal out there, not a human being. We're not going to start putting you in these roles because we don't want to. Your typical suburban white mom going out there and going, "Shh, you're oppressed. Let me speak for you." Right? And it doesn't matter. The thing is it doesn't matter again what race or gender or whatever you are. Sometimes playing a villain or a bad guy or a bad girl or whatever is a dream job because you can start doing things that you never were able to do as the good person. They can be that high school bitch that's tormenting that nerdy girl, or they can be you know that villain that's stalking in the shadows about ready to pounce. Again, I go back to Tony Todd, who did it so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
whether it be
We loved him as
Candyman or
Candyman, but we also loved him as Kern.
Mhm. And let's not forget, even in the Crow movie, the original one. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever it is, he put his all into it, and he had fun. And to sit back and say, "Sorry, Tony, you can't have this role because it's a villain role," and well, you're black. Isn't
You,
that
you,
just
you,
as racist as saying that you can't have this hero role because, well, you're black?
I mean,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
an actor, they look at a role, they think they're the best person for the role, regardless of, where they lie in the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to audition for the role. Tony Todd deserved every role that he got because he was
Mm-hmm.
a damn fine actor.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You want to
And
show
also,
your range.
that booming voice of his carried weight.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And you want to show your range. And not playing whatever you can out there. Good guys, bad guys, milk toast guys. Even though you're a big guy, you're playing a milk toast guy. I mean, right there. I mean, even in the video games where you're playing the Indiana Jones game, and he was in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was Lucas.
Yeah, it's just like you want to show your range, and you want to show it for your ability, not your color.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Tree Rock, good to see you. Says
Yeah, hail.
writing takes time and multiple writers. Star Trek TNG proved that. Yeah, with Star Trek The Next Generation's first season, there are some
Yeah.
episodes I can barely sit through, but I sit through them because I know what's to come. I know that the show
Yep,
gets better
exactly.
and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the problem with having too many writers sometimes. And if you have many writers, they have to communicate of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is really important if you work together as a big team. But when you have too many writers, because there's a lot of shows I've seen through the years, of course, like a lot of us, but you can
Mm-hmm.
see the different off writing in every episode when there's a new writer, and you can see that little communication with each other. So some episodes just and choices, they're just like it doesn't quite make sense. If
Mm-hmm.
that's if you understand what I mean on that. So communication is, really important, and we could just use this fucking sequels for a good example of Disney Star Wars, right?
Right.
No communication with any of the people on set. there was no communication with the people that created the sequels, and then it also came into the books and comics. No communication. I remember there was one writer who came out and even said that there was no communication when he wrote, it was one of the sequel books and stuff like that. It was like they barely had any communication, so he did something else with certain parts. It's like communication is important.
You look at The Force Awakens, and then you look at The Last Jedi, and Rian Johnson did his thing, ignoring a lot of what was established in The Force Awakens. And I'm not acting like The Force Awakens was the greatest thing since sliced bread. It wasn't. Because even J.J. Abrams never had a roadmap for that trilogy.
Nope, he didn't. He didn't at all. And the only script I've seen of sequels that was decent was Colin Favreau. No, what's the name? Not Colin Favreau. Or whatever his name again was.
Trevino.
Yeah. So when he created his script of the last movie called Duel of Fates, he wanted to try to save the franchise. He wanted to try to save the movies with his writing. He cared at least, but unfortunately got fired.
They already had an outline. They already had a blueprint from the man who created the universe himself.
And that's what Colin wanted, Trevor. That's what he wanted. He wanted to go back to George Lucas's stuff, even though some stuff I think should have been rewritten and probably would, but he wanted to save it, to go back to the blueprints. That's what he tried to do, but because he did all that, he got fired.
Well,
because he knew the blueprints.
And I'm just kind of taking a look at this this last part of that paragraph that you have up there about earning praise and reject the woke storytelling and all that. I don't think this guy is that magnanimous about attacking the woke. On the contrary, he just does not like the fact that the woke is going against his narrative. It's only good if it goes one way. How dare you have it go the other way?
If it fits their narrative, they're all fine with it. But if it doesn't fit their narrative, like all vultures, they'll eventually eat their own.
And I say you get what you deserve. You get what you ask for. You open the Pandora's box. You open the door like a bunch of morons, not realizing what the quote-unquote repercussions would be. And now it's working against you, and now you're crying like a little bitch. I don't think he's being at all magnanimous about the swapping, because I'm sure if it was going the other way, he would be, the only thing he'd be upset for is he didn't get the parole. It's like, am I not too turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Well, remember, because of Beau DeMayo's lifestyle and a few things he did outside of his job at Disney Candom, from his producer role on X-Men 97. But the article goes on to say this comment has ignited discussion among fans, with some interpreting DeMayo's stance as a broader opposition to race swapping in media. This earned him praise from those who reject woke storytelling and forced diversity. It's not earning praise from us or other people. It is worth noting that the reason I selected this article is it did raise some curiosity, because I want to know exactly what he said. So it says, however, his remarks specifically target the transformation of traditionally white antagonists into black characters. He's never addressed instances where white protagonist characters have been portrayed by actors of different races, like Zendaya as MJ and the Tom Holland Spider-Man films, because again, like Baron had mentioned, it doesn't fit the narrative. Critics argue that if DeMayo's issue lies in casting black individuals as villains, it actually aligns with woke arguments rather than opposing wokeism. We just said that.
Yep. I didn't even read ahead of this story, but
DeMayo has a history of aligning with identity politics in media, so it's unlikely he's opposing race swapping in a general sense. He doesn't like it that you're taking a person of color and making them the villain. That's what it is. That's what it all comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Well,
not being racist for saying that. I'm stating the fact. I'm looking at the obvious. I'm
James
looking
Earl
at
Jones
what's
no
right in
problem.
front of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, James Earl Jones had no problem playing the villain.
No.
I'm not even talking about Darth Vader. The Ursula Dune, Conan, boom, right there.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because he looked at it, I'm an actor. It's a role. And I get to play with this role. And I get to have fun with this role.
Mm-hmm.
For example, he chastised X-Men 97 fans for straight-washing Moore's friendship with Wolverine after there was pushback against a fan movement to ship the two characters together in his first season. Well, wasn't that what he was trying to do?
Yeah.
DeMaio has faced accusations of hypocrisy, notably regarding the character Sunspot in X-Men 97, who was depicted with lighter skin than his comic book counterpart. DeMaio responded to these claims by stating the directive came from Marvel and that he opposed it. Asked and answered, DeMaio said in reference to the perceived inconsistency, this was a Marvel directive. Crew members and I brought up his Afro heritage multiple times. They wanted Latino representation on the team since Storm and Bishop were already black.
Oh, but the thing is that they went for the wrong, quote unquote, minority. They went for the wrong marginalized group. How dare you think about making it Latino?
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I mean, he looks like Sean King, also known as Talcum X, the white guy who's pretending to be black.
He's part of woke Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
The same thing with what's her name that was part of the DNC, who was the suburban blonde-haired white girl that tried to pass herself as a black woman, and now she's doing OnlyFans.
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
I just did.
Of course, hypocrisy isn't the only thing Beau DeMayo is accused of. Earlier this year, news broke that Marvel Studios and Disney had terminated DeMayo's role as showrunner for X-Men 97 just before the animated revival's world premiere. Yes, they did. This abrupt dismissal sparked widespread rumors and speculation regarding the reasons behind his firing. For many months, Marvel stuck to the story that it was amicable parting the waves. However, in August, the company released an official statement addressing the matter. Mr. DeMaio was terminated in March 2024 following an internal investigation. Given the egregious nature of the findings, we severed ties with him immediately, and he has no further affiliation with Marvel. As I said earlier, when we were reading this article to begin with, he was fired because of things he was doing outside.
Mm-hmm.
While Marvel cited,
he was some weird guy, so
aren't they all in Hollywood? Aren't they all
right?
Weird?
We've been nothing but filled with weird guys through this whole episode.
While Marvel cited an internal investigation as the reason for DeMaio's termination, details remain murky. Rumors from supposed insiders allege that DeMaio was dismissed for sending inappropriate photos to staff members, with additional allegations pointing to physical and sexual misconduct with colleagues.
I'm shocked. Just shocked.
DeMaio has consistently denied these accusations, asserting that his firing was rooted in prejudice over his sexual orientation. He claims that his removal from X-Men 97 Season 2 credits followed shortly after he shared fan art celebrating Pride Month, depicting himself in a skimpy Cyclops-inspired costume.
Okay. We can address this as 100% bullshit, because one, they would not have done it because of that. And second of all, if he does have absolute proof of it, there would have been a huge lawsuit.
Yes.
And the last thing he
Sir
wants
would
is this
have.
being brought to court. He does not want this brought to court because then the truth will come out. So he's just going to play the victim, but not do anything except try to get people out there that go, "Oh, poor guy."
If I
I
don't
don't think it
remember
was a
wrong,
Grinder
he
account.
did have some certain website where you could like see certain things. If I don't remember wrong.
Well, Pat Wannabe's bringing up a certain website,
Yeah, Grinder. Yeah.
speculating that maybe they found something like that. And it's good to see you, Pat Wannabe.
Yeah,
And
good to
ladies
see you,
and gentlemen,
brother.
Pat Wannabe will be our guest this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
It's
And
gonna
Pat
be
Wannabe,
cool.
since you're here, I put your invite link for Wednesday's show into your Discord. So look for it there.
And again, if it was a Grinder account, again, I don't think that would be anything because, again, look how hard it took them to do anything, and they really didn't do much anything against Jesse Smollett, who should be in jail.
Mhm.
And he's black and gay.
Yeah.
So that doesn't wash.
Exactly.
I think we need to go to the dark web. Maybe that might be the place, not Grinder.
And also remember
Maybe.
that this creator, DeMayo, also tried to, he did the whole thing, with Rogue and Magneto in this show while she was underage in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Mhm.
So again, he provides, not provide, but he likes certain stuff that is not okay also. So
Yet, if I recall, that was also a story in the comics.
But she was older in the comics, and it was not well received back in that time too. A lot of people didn't like that, and especially he did it a little bit different in the show, in my opinion, because he changed it to they met when she was really young, and then they start to hook up and get this relationship before she joined X-Men. And I'm like, no, that is just creepy what you did right there. It's like, if you wanted them to have a relationship in the show, at least make her, a full grown up, not have like an old man with a young girl.
And, another route they could have gone is having Magneto be the mentor and her be the student and leave it at that. There's no intimacy between either one of
Exactly.
them at all.
Exactly.
I mean, even if they portrayed, that she had a girl crush on him, which, let's face it, the younger set, guys have a crush, young lads have a crush on their teachers.
But a crush is fine, but not
and
having them
that's
hook
one
up.
thing, right? You can just leave it right there, the crush, and it's like, no, get that out of your head, whether it's Magneto or whoever, but no, they have to go one step further because they're living out their fantasies.
Exactly.
Now you got to figure out which one is the fantasy, or is it both that's the fantasy?
Yeah, it's the same thing, that Wolverine got backlash from certain comics when he had a relationship with Jean Grey, who was underage, and he is super old. So certain stories is just let them be. Never touch them ever again, right? Just let them be. Never touch them again in comics or in shows. Just let them be. Never touch them again. But he wanted to touch upon it again, because it was so important, apparently, for the story, and just made no sense, and it was creepy.
Yeah, because he's a groomer.
Yeah.
I said it. He's a groomer.
Yeah, no, I agree, man, on the way you say it, so.
And it also mentions about DeMayo, regardless of the underlying, come on, Mike, get it right. Underlying reasons why DeMayo has continued to express discontent with Marvel. Following his departure, he has been vocal on social media platforms, recently sharing his critical views on the third season of What If on Disney Plus, blasting Marvel for abandoning his future plans for X-Men 97. Well, guess what, Beau? You're no longer associated with the show.
Yeah.
You were let go. They removed you from season 2. They're not going to follow through with your ideas for a third season or any other ideas you had because you are no longer part of the show.
Right. And Maybe the stuff that you uncovered in your internal investigation should be slipped over to something called like the FBI if they actually did their fucking job. That is.
So it says, is Beau DeMayo uncovering a significant race swapping issue with Marvel Studios, or is he merely a disgruntled former employee airing grievances on social media? I think it's the latter. I really do.
Oh, I say both. I say both because he's showing the hypocrisy of the race swapping. So it's bringing that attention forward because, like, wait a moment, this doesn't add up here. You know, you're doing the Columbo.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I got one
exactly.
more
Yeah.
question. And then, of course, he's just a little pissed at because uh, he was cocky. He thought, again, he had the James Gunn syndrome, but he didn't have anything to bank on it. You know, thinking you're so hot and all that, you know, out there. And it's like, nah, you're not.
Very true. Very true. What about you, Jace? Anything you want to add to this?
Just stop with the race swapping things. Just stop with all that. We saw what they're doing with the Spider-Man stuff right now, and it's gonna be a disaster with having Harry Osborn as a non-binary black person, and then we have Norman Osborn as a black person, and we've seen the race swap for so long. It's getting so annoying, and the gender swapping, every single fucking thing. Just they have to fucking stop it.
Mhm.
But it's not gonna happen anytime soon. A lot of people hoped it would stop,
Well, I
but
think
it's
it will,
not.
Chase. The one
At some
problem
point, I
is,
think at some point, I do believe it will happen, but not
well,
anytime soon. But it will happen, hopefully one day.
I'm a realist here because what we're seeing here, though, is the residual stuff that's already been in play before it really started hitting the fan. So you have projects that have already been being worked on, especially when you deal with animation, stuff like that. It takes a while. So, say a project that got started 2 years ago, and you have all this crap in it, and now it's coming close to being put out, and everything's changed on you with the attitude of it. But it's still going to come out. You can't do a Batgirl on everything out there. Things have to be released, and there's sometimes they're stuck. So it's gonna. I think what we're gonna see.
At some point, they will go
I
back.
think we will. We're going to start seeing both happening now, especially when you can do quicker projects coming out. But I can see some of the stuff is we're going to still see some of these out because I mean, how long is some of these projects that they've been
Yeah,
working
because there
on?
are
I'm
still
talking about.
people in the industry who wants to do proper
Oh yeah.
storytelling and all that, but we don't hear
Mhm.
about them as much. But
Right.
remember what Zach Leary said, the guy who plays
Yeah.
Shazam, aka
Mhm.
the real Captain Marvel from DC.
Mhm.
But as he also said, there's a lot of people in Hollywood who are scared of saying what they really think and other stuff because they live in fear because of losing their job. But we know there are people in there who does care about these franchises, who
Right.
does care about good storytelling. And I think at some point, not this year, but in the future, I have a feeling we will go more back to what it should be. I totally agree with that, but it's not going to be yet, that we know, but it will happen. It just needs to be more and more in the spotlight, and more and more of the bigger
Well,
ups. I know us YouTubers, we cannot make them change that
no.
much, even if we wanted to, but we need more people like Henry Cavill, even Jenna Ortega, not a simp, but and also Zachary Levi and all these other people who has come out and spoken out about certain stuff, right? And actually
Mhm.
put their foot down. It's like, no, we need to do proper storytelling, and we need to do this and this. That's how it is. We need more of
Well,
them. Just hopefully also speak more up, even writers.
well, the thing is we YouTubers can do something about this.
We do a little
It's
bit, yeah, we do.
no,
Not
no, a huge, huge. We can do something that's really huge on it. We got to quit going out there going, I'm going to watch this, so you don't have to, which means they get views, they get people coming to the theater, whatever, right? So they're watching the whole fucking series, so everyone gets a view. And how many of these are doing it out there when they should just turn their back and walk away? The less
You know,
views, the less
of
money.
course, you have a point there. Of course, you have a point there. Of course.
Quit giving them attention like that. Sit back and say it's shit. And while on the other side, when a studio is doing something right, have the YouTubers quit going out there saying it's woke because you have a strong woman in there. It's like we've been saying all along that we've had strong women. And now because you have a strong woman, and it's nothing political, it's nothing on that sign that anything a man can do, a woman can do better. No, you just have a strong female character, and now it's woke. Stop that
Exactly.
bullshit, dude.
Exactly. And again, you know, even if these companies that we fight against a lot of times, but sometimes they will release, of course, certain things that are decent. But the thing, you know, we
Yeah,
have to praise things that is good and decent and
yeah.
show them that this is what we like. This is what you
Mhm.
should focus on. It's like that's why I'm happy that I rewatched Andor, of course. Fuck
Mhm.
you, Cash Money, because I can't mock you anymore.
Yeah,
But
dude.
yeah, right. But no, I rewatched it, and even though it still misses a lot of Star Wars feelings in it that I wish they had, but you know, with simple edit that will be easy. But overall, the show is really good, and they should focus more on that. And I will give them praise for Andor, even though I haven't done that before. But I will give them praise now after
Right.
rewatching it, and I changed my mind. And I've been watching Skeleton Crew. I've been watching every single episode that's come out of Skeleton Crew, and I'm gonna give them praise for that because you should focus more on this. You have two sides of the show now that's really good. Skeleton Crew that's more kid friendly and fun
Hmm.
and interesting story. We need that. But
Hmm.
we also need a serious tone on the Star Wars universe and the more other stuff like that. And you should focus more on the Andor parts, like what you did with Andor and Skeleton Crew. Do more of
Hmm.
these shows and don't focus on every agenda in your book and just focus on good storytelling and something that can connect to people. And we will give you praise for doing a good job
Right.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
will.
that's.
I mean, I could have gone with the first teaser trailer for Transformers 1 and said, screw that movie. I'm not
Mhm.
going to even pay one iota of attention to it. Not in theaters, not on streaming, nowhere. But you know what? I took a chance. I went and saw it, and I enjoyed it. Not because it was a Transformers movie, because it was a movie trying to tell a story, its own story.
Mhm. Well, yeah. And the thing is you almost still didn't do it, except for the fact that you had enough people sitting back saying, "Hey, Mike, you got to see this."
Yeah, yeah. You know who? One of the people who told me give it a chance. Pat Steven. He said give it a chance.
Yep. Mhm.
And yeah, it may seem like I'm this grumpy guy sometimes. Oh, this sucks. That sucks. Everything sucks. But no, I'm
Exactly.
willing to give a TV show a chance. I'm willing to give a movie
Yeah.
a chance. The only
sucks. Yeah, that's what they say.
Oh,
Talks dishing
yeah.
out negativity every single day.
It's all
Hey,
emo
let me.
the
people.
only
Bunch
the
of old
only
emos.
the only show I wasn't going to give a chance after seeing 3 minutes of it before the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace was The Acolyte.
Mhm.
I saw that 3 minutes. And I went nope.
Just wait until my new version comes out.
Yeah. Sorry, Jace. I don't even. I'm sorry, Jace. I don't even want to give it that. And I know you, and I do appreciate you and all that. But again, it goes in the category. I don't even want to give it any legitimacy whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right on that one, Tree Rock. On that one, it's like uh, they'll go down fast because people are going to start getting, and I think they are starting to get tired of it. Uh, you got to, if you go out there and be honest, uh, I think, I think what people who watch a lot of this stuff wants to have the honesty more than the fake, and in many ways it turns into fake rage, and they can see that. I'm just doing this so I can get clicks. Well, why don't you just try going out there and being real to get clicks? That's how you started. That's how you got people, right? Stay on that formula. Praise things, especially if they are doing it right, instead of being knee jerk and saying, "Oh, it's woke because they have this or that," which is not even the case in point. And in that case, then you can get rid of Wonder Woman. She was purposely brought in way back in the day because they wanted to have a female superhero. And she was
I mean,
based off in part off of Margaret Sanger, who started Planned Parenthood.
And I
I
also
mean,
want to bring up.
let's be honest. When I was playing Alien Isolation, there were those times where you would hear me start getting angry and pissed off. It wasn't me trying to get angry and pissed off for clicks. I actually was getting angry and pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be real. You got to be real out there. So, and again, enough of this. I'm watching this so you don't have to. I'm playing this so you don't have to, and all that, just so you can spend the time just doing the same old bitching and moaning. We don't need that right now. Now it's time to start building up and propping. Everybody knows how much it sucks out there. Let's start focusing on the good. The more you focus on the good, the more things will change even faster. Oh, you have to
And
see this because it is good. You have to see this Transformers because it's good.
and Phil, I'm gonna counter.
Right.
In order to have a good story, you need a good script.
Right.
If you don't have that good script to carry that story that's within that script, then you really have no business making that movie or TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right. I mean,
Exactly.
if that's the case, we wouldn't have Babylon 5 because Babylon 5 was intended to be a book for television.
Mm-hmm.
How many things that we've had out there have been books translated into either television or movies, whether it's Lord of the Rings, Roots, Shogun? I mean, that right there falls into cracks with that type of argument. Now, the big thing is we don't need to have big, huge, complex plots. You can have a basic, bare minimum plot and still have a good story and a good movie or television show. You don't need to be all convoluted with your plots.
What I'm talking about, Phil, is not scripts and movies and shows based on books. I'm talking about scripts that have an original story for an IP instead of going off their ideas that have been used so many times.
Mhm.
Transformers 1, to me, had elements of Generation 1 and other incarnations of Transformers, but they were able to tell their own story
Mhm.
by using those
Exactly.
other parts of the Transformers lore as a foundation, but not trying to exploit them too much.
If we don't have a story or a good script, then why the fuck do we care about these characters? Why do
What?
we
Why?
care about the
Why
universe?
did we
Why are
care
we even
about?
watching?
Why did we care about John Sheridan so much?
Mhm.
Why did we care about Londo so much? Why did we care about Jakar so much? Lanier.
Heck, Kirk, Spock,
Mhm.
McCoy, Luke, Han, Leia. Again,
Because within that script was a story that told us about these characters,
mhm.
that developed these characters that we cared about. We cared about the predicament that the rebels were in. We cared about the Federation, particularly the Enterprise crew in Best of Both Worlds Parts 1 and 2, when Captain Picard was assimilated by the Borg. Especially when you get to Wolf 359 and you see the debris of all the ships that were shown on screen.
Yeah.
What good was James Bond without a good story or in a good
Mhm.
script?
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
What good
And
is
not
the
having him
Doctor?
die.
Yeah, and what's good at having the Doctor if we don't have a good story and a good script? These are stories.
I haven't seen the MASH movie, Phil, so I can't say anything on the MASH movie. From what I've heard, it's a good movie for some people. To others, it's not so much of a good movie.
It's Robert Altman. There's a reason why the MASH TV show is remembered more fondly than the MASH film.
And the show was a lot of fun.
Based based off of an actual novel, by the way, the first movie. And
that's also true. We barely have
yeah,
anything new, and that's what we are craving. We're craving for something new and
right.
different, and that's why, again, I will always bring up Rebel Moon, but that was why one of the things I was so happy about it.
hmm I mean, the big thing about the MASH movie is the mystique because it was a Robert Altman film, and you had this good cast in there.
Yeah.
But
And
really, is it that memorable of a movie? No.
no, and you're talking about the show, Phil. Well, MASH ran for what 11 seasons.
11
So
seasons.
so obviously it had some good episodes in there that told something to the audience that made them come back week in and week out.
Right. And you had good stories, you had bad stories, just like Star Trek. For every trouble with tribbles, you had Spock Brain.
Are you kidding?
For
Code of
every
Honor.
yeah, right. So I mean, you're basically doing a weekly mini movie, and you're not going to connect all the time, and they get properly ridiculed or talked about or discussed all along the way, and basically the people that know and enjoy this stuff will be the first ones to start pointing at these that are not good, or an entire season that necessarily wasn't that good.
You want to know why there are many fans who like the episode Darmok of Next Generation? It's because you had Picard in a situation where he's trying to communicate with an alien species that only speaks in metaphor.
Mhm. And you want to try bringing up Aftermath MASH? Well, After MASH did run 2 seasons, so it wasn't a one and drop. 2, it was suffering from the let's move it around thing. 3, just like a lot of spin-off shows, it loses its magic. And 4, you had 11 years of MASH. There's a legitimate fatigue that you had in there, even though you had 3 very popular characters from that show that went on there. And 4, just because you had the same writers doesn't mean that they didn't bring out a good product. Again, it falls back into the stories and such. Now you're changing the argument again, Phil, by sitting back saying just because it has the same writers doesn't mean that they don't fail now and then.
Yeah, and Tree Rock, when it came to the original Star Wars, the filming techniques that were used specifically for the models, nobody had done
Practical
motion capture
effects.
like that before.
With practical
nobody.
effects and all the figures, everything that they did was just mind breaking at that time. They were George Lucas and the team were, in front of the time. They did something that was never done before in that way, and that's what you need to praise, these kind of stuff. And that's what inspired me to become a creator in movies and all this kind of stuff behind the
And
scenes and see how they do this kind of stuff and new and originals.
And you know me, I sit back and say constantly what we have here is our new mythology, our new folklore, our new fables, our new fairy tales that we have. And what's the important thing about what I just said? They all had stories, and a lot of them had good stories, and some even some more had great stories. There was a story around it. Again, this is where there's a difference between a plot and a story. You can have a simple plot and a great story, and you can have a complex plot and a horseshit story. There's still a difference between the two. And just because something's got a simple plot doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
In fact, sometimes it has even more impact than if you have a big convoluted one.
Well, we'll think about the impact that Babylon 5 had with its story. You couldn't just jump in the middle of season 3 and know everything that's going on. You had to watch that show from the beginning and watch it week in and week out to keep up with everything that's going on. Everything that
shit,
they
I
were
was
building
muted.
up.
No, I also want to mention another movie. It's actually a Norwegian movie called Flåklypa. And they were that movie was one of the first movies to ever do something really unique with, a stop motion and stuff like that's really old movie, but this was a groundbreaker of stop motion and what they did with this movie. This movie became so big that it got, dubbed in every country. It
Hmm.
became that big. Flocklippa.
That's
I don't know if and
that's the one with the car, right? The race car.
yes, the
It,
race car stuff.
you want
Uh,
you want to know something? At my parents' house, there's actually a model of that in on the bookshelf at my parents' house.
Yeah, that's really cool because they were that person, that movie did something groundbreaking that people have never seen before with stop motion and the figure making and anything like that. And that is a foundation to a lot of new filmmaking to other people these days too. It inspired so many of what they did with that movie. So that's one movie I am really proud to say. It's a Norwegian movie, a great Norwegian thing they did, and it's
Mhm.
the originality and all that kind of stuff is just like it's groundbreaking.
Right. I mean, eye candy can only go so far.
Mhm.
But like Phil, I believe it was Phil Tippett. I can't remember who when they were talking about it, and they asked him about Star Wars, and basically because he was this the special effects guy, he said, "Oh, it's because of the the special effects and all that stuff." He was sent back, so then he stops, and you can see that there was that gleam in his eye that he was leading down Primrose Path. And he goes, "No, it was about the story that this is good. That why it's so great. We just had a hand in it. If it wasn't for the story, Star Wars wouldn't be."
Mm-hmm.
So again, you can have eye candy as much as you want, but again, it's a compliment. But over and above all, it's got to be what your story is. If you don't have a story and a script, then why are you doing it? We already
Exactly.
saw
Exactly.
we already saw what happened with that with the Star Wars quote unquote sequel fan films. They didn't have a story.
No.
No communication, no story, not knowing what they were gonna do or anything. It was just cash grab.
And
Yeah.
we've seen why Star Trek series under Kurtzman have been canceled.
And non-canon anymore with that one
Mm-hmm.
show. It's
Discovery.
understandable. Yeah, it's understandable too what they did with the whole show too. Yes, I'm not the biggest Star Trek person and I don't know a lot about everything with Star Trek, but I know enough. I've seen enough to understand the universe of Star Trek. And what they did there is disgusting. It's when you had that stupid musical episode and they add in all non-binary characters and it's gonna be all LGBTQ plus whatever stuff, and it's just like destroying continuity and everything's like this has nothing to do with Star Trek at all.
No.
Like this is just like a typical whatever sci-fi show that you're just using the Star Trek name to get money. And now we are getting that one movie too. It's not canon either, of course, but we're still getting that movie.
Oh, Section
Um,
31.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's that movie with Michelle Yeoh that's supposed to come out this month, which
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer.
I
More
that
than
know.
I
was a horrible
care
trailer.
to because it pops up in ads and it's like, no, I'm not interested.
Didn't we go for
I
that trailer once?
we
Which
did.
one?
I just never
Yeah.
posted the video. I was thinking, do
Yeah.
I really want to post this video?
It's
But
so
And
which
trash.
one?
That's just like
yeah, that's the whole reason why, Jace, because the whole thing is trash. It's like,
yeah.
anybody who hasn't been following current Trek because they know it's trash is gonna watch this, and there are gonna be those who defend it who will come after us, and I'm not afraid of them coming after us. It's like
I'm not.
I don't really care about this Section 31, so why am I
Me
gonna post
neither.
this video?
I mean, I'm going
No.
to say this that I never really sit back and say serious except for right now. To those people coming at me on that, I am right and you are wrong. And I mean it.
And real
For
quick,
me to actually sit back and say that serious means something.
yeah. And real quick, I do want to say thank you to Scott Westbrook.
I'd buy that for $1.
And Scott
What
West
happened?
with what we got a super chat, man. We
I
got
know, but it seemed to break go off early, so maybe it's just me.
it's because it's a shorter video. And he says, pair character lifting weight. So he sends us a super chat. It's a super pair.
Ooh.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Come on. If the pair can do it, so can you. Yeah, that's right. Get yourself some muscle. That's right. Ow. I know that. I know my Arnold impression annoys people, but I don't care. Just letting you all know this right now. I don't care.
Even Wikipedia, instead of Wikipedia, even when they put their little polls in there and all that, are going more and more for what they call legend, but I sit back and call the EU.
Wait, Admiral Thrawn Tree Rock. It was Admiral Musk. I swear that's
they
what he looked
ruined
like.
that character so much. Even in the Rebels show, they ruined that character so
I know
much.
they did.
It's
not
just like
Thrawn. Yeah.
it's not. This is like just Thrawn in name and halfway looks. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They couldn't
And
even
that
get
was
the
one of the
eyes
things.
right. They couldn't even get the eyes right to the species. Like they barely have any pupils. Come on. It's like
Well,
yeah.
that's
Real
one of the
quick,
questions they
real
had.
quick.
Which one do you prefer for Thrawn? And overwhelmingly is for the original.
Hold on.
Go.
I just want to say thank you to Scott.
Yeah, thank
I-
you.
I-
Hey,
I don't want him to think he just donated a $5 super chat and super sticker, and I'm not grateful for it. I'm grateful for it, so I want to make sure I say thank you to Scott because he didn't have to do that, and I appreciate that.
we like you. We're going to keep you. Okay, we like you.
I was going to keep him around anyway. I was going to keep him around anyway.
Yeah, but no, they ruined his character completely. He's not, he used to be this smart character who could do a lot of stuff. He fought himself up to become the character he is with the character building and everything, right? And now he's just like, I don't know how I can describe this new version of him like they have in the Disney verse. I can't describe him. I can't recognize the character at all. It's just like it is,
It's Elon Musk.
Yeah, it is Admiral Musk, basically, but less smart.
Yeah, way less smart. Lobotomized Admiral Musk.
And gained weight. And if something you have to remember of those, the species shiz, their bodies are normally worked out for a reason because their species, their culture, being fit and proper in the way they think and everything's like that's part of their character,
Well, he was eating.
It's part of their lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, he was eating the dead stormtroopers they couldn't bring back to life. That was
he just ate them. He was hungry. Yeah.
But the Section 31 from the trailer I saw is like, okay, tell me that you don't know a damn thing about Star Trek without telling me you don't know anything about Star Trek. Let this be your last battlefield, right? Those were the last two beings of that race. But yet one shows up in the Section 31 movie trailer.
Yep. It's because they don't know their Star Trek canon. They don't care about their Star Trek canon. They've made it clear they don't care about their Star Trek.
They only care about the name so they can get the money.
And Scott says, if you were gaming, it would have been Sacrifice Steven.
Yeah. Steven Jenkins. Sorry. That's usually you, Mike. You're the Leroy Jenkins.
Maybe.
Leroy Jenkins. Oh man, that's funny gold memes, man. Playing World of Warcraft.
I mean, I say maybe, but during that last Indiana Jones stream, there were a few points where I did say Leroy Jenkins.
Well, at least I got chicken.
All right, so you guys ready to find out how dismal the weekend box office was?
Could it be because of story? Sorry.
Could be.
Mike, you got the wrong music for using for the box office. It should be this.
I'm trying to keep things peppy.
I think that's peppy.
So we got the weekend box office from Box Office Mojo, and surprisingly, I don't know how it did it. Okay, yeah, box office receipts, I get it. But Mufasa: The Lion King was number one this weekend with 23.8 million. Still, that's nothing to get too excited about.
No.
Not with the way the box office has been ever since the coup.
And I'm sure it cost a pretty penny to make.
Yeah, considering everything's done with CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Mufasa: The Lion King has 476 million worldwide. You can see most of it's coming from international ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's done really well in Norway, at least, but that's normally because kids watch it in Norwegian dub.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then coming in at number 2 is Sonic the
Should have been the
Hedgehog
first
3.
one. Should have been the first one. It's a great
I know.
fucking movie.
That's what I've heard. I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen the second one. So
Get your ass in gear, man.
I honestly, Jace, I'd rather just play the games.
Yeah.
But I will promise you the third one is the top tier of all the movies. Especially with Jim Carrey and what Jim Carrey did with this movie. It's groundbreaking. It was so good to see Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey again and doing proper with the characters and actually having fun as the characters. And the way he showed emotions, anger, and everything was just. I have not seen Jim Carrey like this for years. And he is the
And Jim says
highlight
he wants
of
to
the
do another
movie.
one. Yeah, and he says he wants to do 4. Yeah.
If they have a good script, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. They have to, cause I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but
They all
yeah.
have.
And honestly, I would have thought it would be doing a lot better, for its worldwide total.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that 336 million isn't a bad chunk of change. It's not. But I would have thought it would have been doing more than what it's done so far.
That's because everybody ran off to see Mufasa.
And then Nosferatu, I said what I said about it. I didn't hate it.
Not seen it yet. I am gonna watch it when I get the time to it.
Yeah. It's just in a genre that I don't normally gravitate to, and
Yeah,
you're not
emo enough, man.
I
I'm
know.
just kidding.
I just maintain that there were parts of it that went a little slow for me and almost took me out of it.
Yeah, no,
But
and for
at
me,
least-
this is my top tier of movies. Like I like movies like that are like this, but that's more in my genre. So for me, it's okay. I'm really excited to see the performances, of course, with the daughter of Johnny Depp and every other actor there, especially Bill Skarsgård, who I really enjoy because I'm his stunt double. But no, he's a great actor, so I'm really excited to see how he's gonna do the character.
But at least, Mike, you weren't like Cash when he was going, yeah, I hear that film is just a rip-off of Dracula.
You're never gonna let that one.
No, God.
Oh, are you?
No, I found a new one I'm not going to let go from him. In fact, it's such a doozy, I forgot what the other one was.
But yeah, Nosferatu with 13.2 million this weekend. Moana 2. Let's see. Well, it's close to $1 billion, folks.
Also done well in Norway, I know, because a lot of kids watch it in dub too.
Yeah.
And international. I mean, not much. Like about $100 million more than the local, but it's doing good around the world. I mean, international, audience.
Yeah.
So
Oh, look who is here.
Oh my gosh.
you heard what
Hey,
I
Cash,
said.
you're fired.
Mm. Have you met your
I've
new
taken
replacement,
over.
Jace? Yeah. You can't deny that there, Mr. Cashola. I
Good to
almost
see
I
you,
almost
Cash.
I almost choked on what I was drinking when I heard you say that. It's like, what?
What? Excuse me? What did that fat ass say?
You know what?
That's me. That's me trying to do a Cash impression.
What did that fat ass say? That's fake news.
No. You know when he gets excited. Excuse me? What did that fat ass say?
Yeah, I know. He took it up a notch. He usually goes goober. Yeah, this isn't CNN, which is why we're glad you're not here because we don't need your fake news, Cash.
Ooh.
Don't listen to him, Cash.
Hey, he claims about how good a troll I am. Well, you should know better than you can tell he's not feeling good. He's trying to take me on. From some article, singular.
Oh
I
my,
went
oh
to film
my.
school. Yeah, I
It's
went
good to see
learn
you,
how to do
brother.
films.
You know, I thought you guys weren't on speaking terms, even in chats.
Well, we're not talking. He's putting in the chat, and I'm just saying stuff
Responding.
over here. Yeah, I'm
The
just
point.
responding.
You
But you're
two,
still
you two
answering
are
him.
like an old married couple.
Get a room already.
No, he's sick. I don't want to get ill.
He doesn't want his cooties.
Isn't he always sick?
Yeah, well, no, he always has that New Year's flu. Good to see everyone, Baron. No, yeah,
Everyone,
it's not good to see
everybody,
me.
and Baron. Yeah.
Well, you know, Cash. If you want to, the link's there for you.
Yeah, defend yourself.
And Wicked rounds up the top 5 with 10.2 million.
That's true,
And
Cash. That's true.
Yeah, it's not going to crack the billion mark.
no, but it's done well for a musical.
Yeah,
You can't deny
it's done
that.
really good. It's done really good. But I think they were expecting to go the billion, but it's like, nah, it's not going to make a billion. But it's still doing good.
It's doing good.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree
doing
with
good.
you.
I'm not taking anything away from it.
It may not reach a billion, but I bet part 2 will.
Depends on how good it is.
Well, you know, the common thing I heard when I went and saw it with my sister when I took her to the movies was a lot of people were going, wait a minute, part 2? Because they wanted to see it. They wanted to see it keep going.
But I also
yeah,
feel that
but-
movie is more targeted to women and who's fan of, these kind of musicals.
Yeah.
So I don't judge them for liking it. I know it's not
Oh,
for
I'm not.
me, but I'm really happy for the people they were targeting with this, at least, because they enjoyed it, at least, you know.
Well, I'm 100% for that. It's like, yeah, if it's being targeted, make sure you target it for that crowd. My only statement is let's hope that at least they do a good job on the second part. We've seen it all before, where the first part starts out strong, and then they go to the second part, and it falls all apart. I hope it doesn't for those fans.
I hope it doesn't, not just for my sister's sake, but also those who enjoyed the musical and
Right.
enjoyed the movie. I hope that the sequel for them is a success.
Yeah,
and part of
hopefully they
that
don't-
success is because of the story being told.
Yeah,
Right.
and they don't do anything stupid with it or anything.
Mhm. And yeah, I hope they execute it properly. Right? They got the story. Right? It's there. I mean, don't start
The
going
execution still needs
Yeah.
to be there.
right.
You know, you don't go into, say, the Super Bowl with no game plan. You go in
Exactly.
with a game plan, and then as the game goes on, you have to adapt to what the opposing team's doing if you want
Right.
to secure a victory.
I mean, some of these should. I mean, and I think this is what they really need to do so they can keep the momentum going. Film it back to back. If you know you're going to have a part two, don't think around.
Well,
Back to
that's
back.
what they did with Wicked. They did film it
Oh, they
back to
did it.
back.
Oh, they
Yeah,
did. Okay, that's
Yeah, they
good. No, they
did.
didn't
yeah.
do it with Dune.
That's why part two's coming out next Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's good. I mean, and that's what you need to do. That if you guarantee that you know you're going to have a second part, don't flub around. Just boom, boom. I know it was a big risk with Lord of the Rings films, right? They were nervous
And
about
and,
that,
and, and don't forget Back to the Future Part 2 and 3.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, you had previews for 3 in the theater
Mm-hmm.
for when you were watching 2. I mean,
Yeah, because at the same time Robert Zemeckis was directing Part 3, he would come back to LA and edit Part 2.
right. And you
And,
basically had that with Superman and Superman 2 as well.
mhm. And Jet Spark says, I remember taking theater arts in high school in a vain attempt to impress a girl I like at the time. Well, we all do things in high school to try to impress a girl.
Like
Yeah.
watching the Twilight movies.
I know there's some things that even I wouldn't simp for.
I watched those movies because of my ex, so
Well, you're a simp. We know.
I wanted a happy ending, okay?
Well, I'm sure you gave yourself one.
So, with the domestic totals for the last 5 movies, we have A Complete Unknown, which is the Bob Dylan movie, and
Mhm.
that made 8 million this weekend, and it so far has a domestic total of 41 million. You
Hmm.
have Baby Girl that made 4 million, and it currently has a domestic total of 16 million. Gladiator 2, I'm sorry, why did we need it? Really? Why? Why?
To piss you off.
It made
Just
2.6 million, but it's failing at the box office. When you
Mhm.
look at its
yeah.
budget, it is failing.
I have heard, some people like it, some people are like in the middle, and some people just despised it. I have not seen it. I have no plans of seeing it because I saw the first one, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah. And
They did.
I did a search, and it was budgeted at 155 million.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what it's only made domestically. Now we will look at the
Yeah.
worldwide total. Be fair.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's another movie that's done better internationally at the international box office than it has domestically. And that's why it has the worldwide total that it does. But it's not where the first Gladiator was. Nothing will equal the first Gladiator.
It's just an expensive art house film. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Say no more. Oh,
Mhm.
someone did another Count de Monte Cristo. Huh.
Guess so.
I didn't
Because
even know about that.
I didn't even hear about it.
No.
And it's released by the Samuel Golden Company.
Huh. How is A Better Man doing, huh? Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Oh,
All right, so it's only in 4 theaters domestically. That's why it's not
for the
doing so
opening.
well.
The
Yeah.
widest release was 93 theaters. Been out for 2 weeks. And never heard anything about it.
No, I never saw any advertisement for it. No,
See, they gotta
neither.
quit doing that. They gotta quit doing that bullshit.
you got to promote your movies. If you want people to spend the money at the theaters and sit down and watch that movie, spend money at the movies, advertise said movie. and make sure that the trailer is able to grab people and make them go, I want to see that.
I mean, look how much they're promoting that A Better Man, but it's not doing well.
No.
We didn't need
Eh,
all that advertising for some of these other films that are already guaranteed to have people come in. No,
mhm.
use some of this for lesser known ones.
Of course, you have Homestead, and that's only been released here domestically with 17 million. I'm gonna look and see what the budget for that film was.
Yeah,
So give
that's
me a
one not
s-
really doing very good at all. But yeah, depends.
Yeah,
It
no,
is
it
interesting to know what the
hasn't.
budget is.
And I feel bad for the actor because he's been canceled so many times because of his faith and him also saying that I don't want to kiss or have sex scenes with other women in
Hmm.
movies because I have a wife. So he's lost a lot of movie jobs, and there's just so much that happened with him because of that being halfway blacklisted in Hollywood.
Yeah,
And I just feel
and
bad for him.
according to the search results on Brave, it had a production budget of 8 million. That's
Oh,
estimated,
okay,
at least.
okay. So it's made, so it's twice that now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I know Angel Studios isn't a big studio, and
no,
I realize
No.
that they're the same studio that did Sound of Freedom,
right.
which was very good.
Well, they made many remakes of Count of Monte Cristo, Jet Sparks. I mean, all the way back into the black and white days. They did a TV one with Richard Chamberlain and Louis Jordan. Gerard Depardieu did a French miniseries with him as Edmond Dantes. But of course, you just have to go with Alexander Dumas with the seminal novel. It's one of my favorite novels of all time. Uh, great story, great story, misunderstood story.
And you have the
Everyone thinks it's about revenge, and it's not about revenge. It's about justice.
Fire Inside, which so far has only been released domestically, and it's been released to 2006 theaters, and it's made 7 million. And then, of course, because you're here, Jace, I will show it.
No,
Raven
I
the Hunter.
really loved it. So, but I know it
I,
didn't do
I, I know
well.
you did. I know you did. I know you did. And that's
No,
what matters. You found something you enjoyed.
and again, just because it didn't do good in the theater, first run or whatever, doesn't mean it's not a good film. But naturally, it has stuff going against it. One, Disney. Two, Marvel. Three, that superhero fatigue. So,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, so
exactly. But I will say, the movie was pretty good, and the action, as we saw in the trailer, was really good too in the
mhm.
movie. Um, the story is coherent, not coherent, but it is contained. It is a full good story. They don't walk away from the story; they keep the story going and interesting, and you get like this thriller feeling too. Like you're watching like a Jason Bourne movie or something like that. You don't get that feeling of a thriller at the same time with the
Mhm.
movie. And no, it's overall it was a really good movie, and they also did some throwbacks to comics that I was just like, oh shit, that's
Mhm.
pretty dope. When I saw certain things, I'm
Mhm.
like, damn, that reminded me. This looks like the character from the comics. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
I
movie.
mean, this one might find new life with streaming, and
Hmm.
we'll have to see. I mean, I think it's basically suffering from that fatigue that's happening, and the fact that people are just tired of
Yeah.
what
Also
Disney
the
Marvel has been offering.
it also suffers because of a lot of people didn't like Morbius, even though I did like it, but a lot of people didn't like Morbius, and there was Madam Web, and
Yeah.
at least the second and the third Venom movie has been really up and down for people.
Hmm.
So it's also because of that,
Yeah.
and some people just want to hate because like, oh, it's like, just stop hate to hate. Be legit when you don't like something, please.
Yeah. I mean, I'm neutral on it. I know I've heard good things about it. I've heard some people say, eh. Uh, I'm not going to see it anytime soon, but I mean, I'm not against seeing it. Let's just put it that way, right? Uh, and that right there speaks volume. If you have enough that you give a person they legitimately want to watch the product and not go out there and simp watch or hate watch, then
Yeah.
that's doing a good enough job, I think, of piquing people's interest. But we've seen that playbook happen all the time before, where you have a good film, but it just doesn't get the justice it needs,
Yeah,
and then
And
we
the
see
same
it
something
doesn't resonate with the audience.
right.
and I say the
Exactly.
same thing about the new Lord of the Rings movie, that anime movie. I said the same thing about that. It's a really goddamn great movie. They go for more old school anime that I really love. It reminds me of more old school anime back in the day that I used to watch. And they follow the story that they created here really well. I'm not too familiar with the book, so I don't know if a lot of these things are in the books. I cannot say. But as a casual movie watcher and a fan of the Lord of the Rings movies, I really heavily love this, and I love the Japanese tone they have in the movie. The creator of this, the Japanese guy and all that, fantastic work. And I know a lot of people didn't want to give it the day of light because, oh, we hated the Rings of Power show. But
Yeah.
I'm like, just forget about that show and go in and watch, the movie with an open
Mhm.
mind, because it's nothing to do with the goddamn TV show. And this is for me, I feel like they're showing respect and all that kind of stuff. You know, they even used the voice of Sir Christopher Lee in it, and
Hmm.
all that too. And it's like, that's so great that they did. I know it's like old voices that he's done before in movies and audio work, but still, they wanted to give him respect and love for his character and what he's
Right.
done. And I love that when they did that. It's like that's showing respect. You're showing
Well,
respect.
I think the big problem, again, I have no opinion either way on this. Obviously, I'm intrigued to see it. I'll be the first to say that on that one, which again, at least is doing a job. But I think the thing that might be hurting it the most is the fact that it is anime, and so many see anime as a niche. And if it's doing like you're saying, bringing in Japanese elements, that could be a
Yep.
turn off as well, because this is a European, specifically a English story, trying to build an
Yeah,
English
the
lore.
most Japanese elements is basically the anime mostly.
Hmm.
It is most
Right.
the anime, old school anime style. That's basically it.
Hmm.
But I do
And
understand
people,
you. A lot of
yeah.
people are like, "Oh, this is anime. This is
Hmm.
stupid." Blah 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 blah. It's like stop. But try to be open minded. Even if
Right.
you're not the biggest fan of anime, but if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, I think you're gonna go in for a treat. I
Right.
really
Uh,
think you are.
and I'm not saying that it's justified to have that mindset, mind you. It just it's out there. We know it's out there, and I think that's something that's gonna make it hurt. I mean, even the anime films that came over, the one that was doing the best that we had, last year, still wasn't raking in the money on our shores. So, uh,
Because the big fatigue with anime, as a long time viewer of anime and reading manga through my whole life, is that a lot of people think that anime are kid stuff and just childish stuff. That's like a niche that I've heard so many times in my life, but it's like, if you really go into what anime and mangas are, and you don't focus on their stupid, weird anime and mangas, because there are a lot of them too, but you have a
mhm,
lot of serious mangas, animes. Like, you have Berserk, rest in peace to the creator, but you have
mhm,
Berserk with guts and all that. That's a grown up story. It's not a childish
right.
story. It's R rated. You have sex in that anime and manga. It's like, it's a heavy story with darkness, with happiness. Like, it has everything. It's a really serious
Mhm.
story. Death
Well,
Note.
that. Mhm.
And Death Note is a
Okay.
really serious story and really good. That's why that's one of the really loved ones too, because it is so maintained on a story and they really follow a proper story for the most part. I have my beast with certain stuff in it, but that's because, I'm a critic, but I still love it. Yes, are there some humor in it? Yes, it is, but it's not made for normal kids per se. Uh, Japanese kids, yeah, but that's a different breed, But even with Dragon Ball, a lot of people thought, oh, that's child friendly to Europeans and the Western world. No, it's really not. But yes, that has more fucked up humor, but not everything has fucked up humor in this kind of stuff. But I know that people think that. But if you watch this, it has nothing of the stupid, typical Japanese humor like that at all. Um, so, no, just to everybody
Well,
out there, I would just say, just try to turn off your mind that it's an anime. If you are a Lord of the Rings fan, I think you really should give it a watch and give your opinion on it, because overall it is a Lord of the Rings story, just with the anime format. And the voice actors did well, and we got to hear again Sir Christopher Lee, rest in peace.
Mhm.
Um, and the other voice actors, they nailed it. It was so well done. I'm just giving them a lot of praise for it. And at least they know how to do Lord of the Rings with not destroying it like Rings of Power.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to say hello to Kitty Bear over on Rumble, who says my brother's wife called me childish for watching anime, so I made her watch redo of Healer and Goblin Slayer. And what did she think about it, Kitty Bear?
see, I agree with you, Jace, halfway on that one. I
Yep.
think the average person's attitude, at least here in the States, uh, towards anime is like you were saying, is child goofy stuff, or the extreme on the other end, that is all blood, violence, and boobs,
Yeah.
and that's all it is. And they are not aware. They choose to ignore that middle ground where anime is just basically like the art style type of whatever. It's Japanese animation, but just like we
Yep.
have with our animation, there is so much you can do. Whether it's science fiction, comedy, sports, fantasy, it doesn't matter, and for all ages. Specific or all ages, and that's the thing. I've said that many times to Brandon, and the thing is I do blame a lot of weebs for that, because they become such an insular, snobbish lot, many of them, and not welcoming to bring people in and explain it to them. You got so many of the well, actually crowds with that one. It's like, if you want that to thrive and bring more people in, and quit having these stupid arguments and attacking people because they either like sub or dub, right? It's like, get out of it and promote it,
Mhm.
and explain why this is good and everything across the board, because you're never going to convince anybody else, which is probably one of the problems you're having with this Lord of the Rings. It's animated, it's anime, and and Rings of Power. Three strikes, it's out.
Mhm. And Kitty Bear says, now I'm a sick person in her eyes. I just went extreme to point out that not all anime is childish. Yeah, you
Mhm.
wanted to prove her wrong. You
Yeah,
wanted
not
to
all of it is.
you wanted to show her that her perceived notion of anime is an incorrect notion.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, for every Pokemon, you have Star Blazers or Space Battleship Yamato. You know, for every Howling Castle, you have uh, Vampire Hunter D. I mean,
We have
it,
Gundam.
yeah. So it's just it covers across all mediums, and this is my call out, just like I was calling out our fellow YouTubers, many of them, to those that are anime fans and want to promote anime. Well, give the people a reason why to like it instead of going around with silly, pathetic
Yeah.
arguments and an elitist attitude.
Yes, exactly. And don't talk about just big titties and
Hmm.
cute girls. You know,
One, mhm. One of the
There's
best things,
more to anime than that.
right? I
yes.
mean, I think one of the big things that really helped anime in the United States, even more than Akira, was when Sci-Fi Channel had their 5 nights of anime.
Mm.
Each night was a different anime film. One of which was Vampire Hunter D. And another one was Galaxy 999. Uh, so I mean, where you had a variety of science fiction, fantasy based anime that was different each one, and the Sci-Fi Channel
Yeah.
giving it such attention. I think that was more impactful to anime than even Akira.
Mhm.
And you need to
And
start
that
getting
that's
more of
even
that.
something that Brandon the anime guy has covered on his channel.
Hmm. Right.
So, and yes, I am giving a shout out to Brandon the anime guy because I do pay attention to what he posts on his channel, what he talks about.
Hmm.
And Kitty Bear says there are just some people you can't watch any movie or series with. That's true.
Amen.
They just aren't into it for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's not their thing.
Exactly.
Like Cash and Friends. I never understood that.
I mean, I understood why some people like Seinfeld, Friends, Mad About You, some of those shows that were on NBC in the 90s.
High estrogen
But
levels.
those were shows for me I couldn't get into like everyone else.
Hmm.
And part of the reason, to tell you the truth, is because I was exploring the final frontier, meeting new species, battling the Jem'Hadar, and also going to Babylon 5.
Ah, the classics.
Yes. That's what I was doing on my Thursday nights, mostly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. But just like Sci-Fi Channel did a great job with anime with those 5 nights, they sucked at promoting another series, and that was Lex. Because every commercial for Lex that you saw was basically they were promoting hot and heavy, steamy, wild sex, which Lex wasn't about. Yeah, you had a beautiful woman on there. Yeah, you had some sexual themes, but it was just bizarre, weird science fiction. And when you got something that's Canadian, German, and United States, when you got those three together, it's going to come out weird. But that was a big turnoff why I never watched Lex for the longest time. It's like, I don't want to watch something like that. And then I accidentally saw that first movie, In the Shadow, in the name of the shadow, the first movie of the Lex when they had the 4 movies. And I didn't
Mhm.
realize what it was. I just turned to it. It was already on. It's like, well, this looks interesting. I was sucked in. And then I found out what it was. It's like, oh, this is what Lex is about?
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Eh,
Sci-Fi Channel.
yeah, well, here's the thing about Lex, Baron. When I would come home from work on my first job, and usually it was on Friday nights,
Hmm.
late on Friday nights, I would come home. I wouldn't get the first airing of Lex. You know how
Hmm.
Sci-Fi would always repeat the show
Yeah.
again later on in the night. I would get the second showing, and I would watch it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, when I had a chance to, when I finally woke up and realized what it was, again, bad promotion by Sci-Fi Channel.
Hmm.
I didn't think much. I mean, I thought the quality for the quote unquote third season uh, was dropping, and that last season, that fourth season, was atrocious in my opinion. But that the 4 movies are the first season, and that second season, I think, was just gold. It was gold. This is like, okay, this is science fantasy at some of its best.
And yes, we do need more shows like Sliders. Sliders was a good
Yeah.
show. Now, was it a good show through its whole run? No. It
No.
started to slip near the end, especially when you had John Rhys Davies leave the show. He was one of the main reasons why I watched the show.
Hmm. Oh, Jerry O'Connell, Connell and him both. because I was familiar with Jerry O'Connell from My Secret Identity. It was
Yeah.
nice seeing him advancing in his career, and of course, come on, Sala, definitely.
And if you guys have anything else to say it. Otherwise, we'll move on to our main article and our final article of
Ooh.
today's show.
All I gotta say is Cash is chatty in the chat. So,
Well, and that's good to see. It's always good to see when people are chatty in the chat.
yeah, but he's a host, a co-host.
Well, today he's in the chat. He's among the people. He's among the people. He's a man of the people.
Yeah, how did that work with King Louis of France? Yeah, he was amongst the people until he lost
Yeah,
his head.
but King Louis didn't have a magnificent chin.
No, but he had a great neck that people were admiring.
The great chin, everybody.
But the chin of power. Remember,
chin of power.
Well, I know. Maybe he did have a good chin. Maybe they were intimidated by his chin.
And Kitty Bear delivers a follow-up to his previous chat on Rumble about with some people you can't watch any movie or series with. He goes on to say, but even with those people, I still like to point out their point of view, like calling anime childish is wrong. Yeah, you gotta call them out on it. So let's go ahead and get to our final article.
Ruben.
Yeah, that's right. Let me just look at the comments here too.
We're gonna go out there and blow some shit up.
And Baron says, I might join soon because Baron might cry.
I didn't say that. Phantom said that. That Phantom Hooligan guy. I don't know who that is. He said that he.
Yeah, this is what's gonna happen when Cash joins. I know it. I just.
Yeah! You're gonna die, clown! You think that's funny? I don't hear you laughing now!
Oh yeah.
I've been saving that clip for you, Cash. And Hyperfusion says having a beautiful woman is okay. I have nothing against it. It's just how many games need that to promote certain games. I do play Helldivers 2, but I mostly play single player games. Yeah. What we're going to talk about here is our main event article, and I'm sure some of you have noticed, in the last couple of weeks at least, that what you see on the thumbnail is being saved for last because that is our main article. And
the piggyback though on what was being said there. Remember how people were complaining about Dark Tide and how it's so woke because the women people look so ugly and the women look so ugly? Duh! It's the 41st millennia. It's hell. You try to look prim and proper back at during that. Okay, so.
Yep. So we are going to talk about this Games as a Service. It is our main article of the evening, and it's pretty much the new format for Pop Talk. What you see on the thumbnail will more than likely 99.9% of the time be the last article of the show. And for this particular article, it says, despite failures like Concord and Foam Stars, PlayStation co-CEO Herman Hulst promises Sony will continue to focus on developing live service titles, along with the story-driven single-player titles that our players demand. So whether you love it or hate it, it certainly seems from that headline alone that live service games are here to stay.
At least with them.
Yeah. Now, I will say,
It had been months since I last tried Helldivers 2 because I wasn't able to get into a match, even after going through suggestions on what settings you need to have the game in order to try to get into a match, and it still didn't work. And I even joined the Helldivers 2 Discord and saw that there were a few other people like myself who were having trouble getting into Helldivers. Well, last night I thought, okay, let me try it just to see if I can get one, get into a match, two, stay in the match, three, finish the match. And fortunately, I was able to do all three of those. Now, I didn't continue on. I thought if I continue on, I'll be pushing it, but I was able to get into a match finally after all these months, and well, the results spoke for themselves. And Kitty Bear says that he prefers watching a nice female, but when I play third person games,
Then a
yeah,
robot,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And hold
that's
on,
nice use.
just saw something. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I
we're
saw
still on.
something in Discord, and
Oh, in Discord. Oh.
yeah, I thought it was for me. It was for someone else.
Okay.
So this is by Ryan Pearson. It was posted on the 2nd of this month, and it says despite their failures in the genre far outweighing their successes, Sony Interactive Entertainment co-CEO Herman Hulst has assured players that the PlayStation brand is still fully committed to developing live service titles. And it says, in honor of the PlayStation 30th anniversary, which is this year, Sony Interactive co-CEOs Hideki Nishino, who heads the subsidiary's platform business group, and Herman Hulst, who runs the sister studio business group, sat down with noted Japanese news outlet Famitsu to reflect on their experience and history with the brand. Well, Nishino's thoughts center more on PlayStation's technology and hardware. Holst discussed the software side of the business. In doing so, broaching such topics ranging from his favorite games and outlook for the future. And before I continue on, I need to share this article out with everybody because I have not done that. So let me just share out the link because that is something I do here on this channel during Pop Talk.
He cares.
I do care because I want everybody who's joined us, whether it's for a Sunday show or a Wednesday show, to be able to read along with us. And if they want to read ahead, they can read ahead if they want. I'm not going to say, oh, no, you got to read it when we're reading it. No, I'm not like that.
See, that's why you're a better person than me.
It says during the interview, as machine translated by Deep L, Holst was eventually not passed on the subject of Concorde's near instant failure and the two studio closures that resulted from it, with Famitsu inquiring as to whether the disaster was Firewalk Studios' hero shooter had prompted the company to make any changes in your strategy for live service games and mobile games. And it says, in turn, the Sony exec asserted the game business is constantly changing due to a variety of factors, including technological advances, new genres, and new ways to play games. The one thing that has not changed, however, is people's desire for a great entertainment experience, and the focus on games continues to grow. But with that comes competition. And like many companies in the industry, we have had to make changes to our business in order to solidify a more sustainable operating base. He then admitted he will continue to focus on developing live service titles along with the story driven single player titles that our players demand. Yes, I prefer single player titles because there are times where your friends aren't available to join you. And,
Mhm.
a game of Space Marine or Space Marine 2, for example, or Vermintide 2 or Dark Tide. So, well,
And the only person that Cash has is Phil McCracken in Fallout 76.
yeah. So he again says that they'll focus on the live service along with the story driven single player titles that our players demand. We are learning a lot as we build our ability to develop quality live service titles within Sony Interactive Entertainment. Helldivers 2 has proven the potential of live service titles by attracting a large number of players through continuous content delivery. Yes, but even with that, Helldivers 2 saw a drop in players when it was made clear that players would be required to have a Sony ID.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
And not everybody in other regions was able to do that because of limitations.
And
Yeah.
laws. Hmm.
Hmm.
No, it's really stupid when they want you to have, you need to have this, you need to have that to play it, and that is just so ridiculous. It's the same thing with Ubisoft. They want you to have like, have the Ubisoft account if you're gonna play certain games and stuff. It's like, no, just stop doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting off of Steam, that should be good enough.
It should be good enough. Even with Epic
Right.
or Steam, it should be good enough.
Mhm. Right.
And Kitty Bear, if you want to DM that to me in Discord again, and then I'll look at it after the show.
Hmm.
And it also
Send it to Phil.
it says here regarding mobile games, Hulst explained, we want to develop PlayStation IP in a way that maximizes synergy with our console offerings. To this end, we will first focus on collaborating with outside development studios. In November 2023, we announced a strategic partnership with NCSoft to collaborate in the mobile space. In October 2024, NetEase Games is developing and publishing the game, and in October 2023, we announced the launch of our first mobile game, Destiny Rising, a mobile game based on the Destiny IP. It goes on to say, massive PlayStation would continue to the trend of launching titles on PC. Hulse asserted, since live service titles are released on multiple platforms, the key to success is how to attract new players and increase the number of players. Therefore, maintaining momentum and broad player adoption at the time of release is especially important in the live service sector. Single player games are a key component of the PlayStation platform's appeal, and each title has a strategic sales period, he said. While consoles remain our core business, expanding to PC and other platforms will allow us to bring our games to a wider audience. Guys, I never knew that before. The hell you say?
You sound shocked.
Really shocked.
Oh my gosh! I never knew that. You mean you expand to different platforms? You don't limit your eggs to one basket, and you reach a broader audience. It's kind of like what we as content creators do. We don't just stick to one platform. We expand our horizons.
I don't.
It says our priority is always to provide the best possible experience for our players. And as part of that, we are also promoting the integration of PSN accounts on PC. It's not necessary. This is just my opinion, folks. It's not necessary for PSN accounts to be integrated onto a PC title when you buy it from an online store like Steam or Epic. That should be proof enough when you buy it from those platforms. that you have
I totally
purchased the
agree
game.
with that. Totally agree. Have you bought it there? That should be enough. That's it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Not have any
I-
second login, second account thing, nothing like that.
You shouldn't have to, launch another launcher to play a game when you're signed into Steam.
Exactly.
Ubisoft does that.
Yep. No, I totally agree with you. It's the same thing, when I play, for example, Sword, or it's like, okay, I have it on Steam now because it's easier to just get access to instead of having so much programs. Okay, it's there. Okay, I will download it there. But when I click on it, of course I have to log in again with the second account. I have to do the same, and then it's just like, well, then I can just download the old login again instead of using Steam.
And before I continue here, Kid Bear says game developers keep forgetting that there are only so many gamers. Instead of trying to get more, they should focus on keeping those they have and base the budget for the games on the gamers they have. Ubisoft Epic.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the big problem. It's like the phone companies. People always ask, well, why aren't there any deals usually for those who have been with AT&T, Verizon, or whoever for all this time, but they only go out of their way for new ones? Well, one, they don't care if they keep you or not. They already got you. And they figure
Mhm.
you're going to leave, you're going to be upset with them, and you'll come back sometime. It's a bad model, and unfortunately, is kind of going into other areas as well. And again, it speaks to the problem with all the woke crap. They're not caring about those who are the fans already, that you got that guarantee audience. In fact, you're going
Yeah.
out of your way to alienate them so you can grab the people who've been bitching, that never have played the franchise or the game or whatever you want to call it, and never intend to, but you'd rather attend that superfluous squeaky wheel that doesn't matter.
Mhm. And the article continues by saying further, when asked if future Sony titles could, like the recently released Lego Horizon Adventures, simultaneously release on platforms other than PlayStation, Hulst affirmed live service titles are released on multiple platforms because it is important for multiple players to be able to play the game together. For other titles, we will consider and decide on the best sales format for the players and the company. My 2 cents: what's stopping you from releasing all of your games that you intend to release for PC on the PC platform the same day it's available to those with a PS5?
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
You could make a lot of money that way. As noted above, Hulst and Sony's continued commitment to developing live service games is genuinely puzzling from a financial and operational standpoint, given just how bad the company is with handling the genre. Well, I mean, Sony proved in this last year they weren't very wise when it came to decisions that they made. And requiring the PSN account was one of their major flaws of 2024. In addition to the crashing and burning of the aforementioned Concorde, last year saw Sony publicly announce the cancellation of 6 in development live service titles, including multiplayer offerings for such series as Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, Insomniac's Spider Man, and their own Twisted Metal, as well as the announcement that their Splatoon at home styled game, Foam Stars, would be ending service in mid January 2025. Heck, truly the only live service title that has seemed to work out for the studio is Helldivers 2, which, despite balance issues, you're not kidding, and a mandatory PSN account requirement, even on PC, the game has continued to maintain a loyal, dedicated, and genuinely interested player base. While Sony is ostensibly continuing to chase the easy profit streams that live service games often produce, their track record suggests they would actually make more money by not blowing millions on following trends and instead really delivering on what players are really starved for, which is new entries into their single player IPs like God of War, Astrobot, or even Ratchet and Clank. But alas, it seems like Sony will have to burn their hand on their own oven a few more times before they truly remember where their strengths lie. Well, you just need to hit them on the head a few more times. So, folks,
Yeah.
whether you love it, whether you hate it, sure seems like Sony is standing their ground when it comes to live service games, which, in
Yeah.
my opinion, is a bad move.
No, I'm with you. Like I'm with you, Mike, on that one. So
Well, the thing is as long as they don't let it overpower the other one. I mean, they said they're going to do single player as well. Uh, so it's like, don't go the way where it's going to be 90% live service and 10% single player offline. Uh, that's not the way to go. Or if again, be like GTA 5 or whatever, where you have the story mode, and then you got also alongside of it your online mode. Space Marines
Mhm.
2 got that. Uh, Space Marine 1 had that. All across the board. So I mean, I'm even a bigger fan of that, where you have the best of both worlds.
exactly.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Hyperfusion. You're absolutely right. They can do it at any time.
Hmm.
And Hyperfusion also wonders how many live service games are out there now. If I remember, I'm on PS5 and I remember correctly, it was close to 200 live service games. That's insane. If that is the true number, that is insane.
Well, I mean, look how successful Concord was.
But you kidding? That game fell flat the moment it came out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, I think even before.
Well, I was I'll admit it. I was watching Fat Steve and he showed the trailer, and I'm looking at this game. I'm thinking, this is a game I would never touch.
Exactly.
And Kitty Bear says the game Dark Age of Camelot from Mythic is a great example of what happens when you piss off your player base. The game died in a single expansion. Wednesday says that 3,000 players on the server before update expansion. After update expansion, everybody gone. Was alone on the server for 4 weeks before I left.
Hmm.
Talk about killing the game.
Yeah.
And you're right. Why can't they make another kill zone? That's what we would like. SOCOM would be great. All they're focusing on right now is live action, not live action, but live service games like Helldivers 2.
Hmm.
Nothing against Helldivers 2 when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it works, it's good. It's fun,
Yeah,
That's
it
how you
is.
will say
Right.
it.
But there's nothing like playing a game like SOCOM, especially playing the campaign by yourself and trying to get through the game, or even Killzone playing that by yourself. So yeah. So, gentlemen, any other thoughts on this?
Not
Well,
really, but
no.
I'm more
Basically,
on what you said, Mike, is what I agree mostly with.
mhm,
So
yeah. And I just still hold with it. Have it either hybrid where you have both, or don't let it overcome actual story driven games. But these online service only shoot 'em ups like that are easy
Hmm.
to do because you don't have to worry about a freaking story. Again, we've come back to stories and plots. The plot is simple: pew pew. The story, I'll go out and pew pew. Unlike if you had a single player story driven game, now you gotta have the script, the variables, all that stuff. It takes a lot of work for that. This
It
you just have to
does.
just make sure you have the gameplay. You already got the engines for it usually, and the graphics. And let's face it, some of these graphics have been going downhill anyway. So no wonder why they look cheap, because they're being rushed out. Some of this.
Yeah. Or
Exactly.
they're not spending the money to make sure that their graphics are polished. But more importantly, if you want good graphics, you better make sure that gameplay is nice and polished as well.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
Not a hunky chunky herky jerky.
And it is a lot of money loss.
Yep.
But they can't see the forest for the trees.
Nobody in these corporations can do it. And part of the reason why you're seeing a lot of the same trends in the gaming industry that you're seeing in Hollywood is because there are some Hollywood executives now working in the gaming industry.
Hmm. And vice versa sometimes.
Hmm.
And well, yeah, it'd be logical that you'd have people part of Hollywood getting in there again when you're dealing with story-driven titles. But again, you have to have a good story. Why
You
do you
do.
care? Why do you want to play this character? Why do you care about some of the NPCs in the game? You know, why are you having animosity towards others? The villain NPCs and such. Uh, and that takes a lot of work. I have a sticky feeling that video game writing is even more intensive than a motion picture one, just in the fact that you do have many variables,
Hmm.
multiple endings, all across the board, and uh, you need to be on your game and have a good crew if that's that case. Unless it's going to be a simple linear game, which gets
Well, I mean,
boring and old.
when you watch behind the scenes videos of voice actors alone recording lines for a video game, and you see how large that script is
Hmm.
for the entire game.
Volume 1.
Yeah.
3 months later, okay, here's Volume 2 script. Okay, start at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
um, yeah, it's not glamorous. It's not easy. A lot of work, a lot of frustration. That's why we appreciate when we have good story-driven games.
I mean, it's not just good story driven games, it's movies, TV shows, comics.
Everything.
Hmm.
Everything on the lists.
Right. So, but I'm just saying specifically games because that's what we're talking about here. But yeah, I mean all
I know.
across.
All across the board.
Hmm. Hmm.
Across the board, yeah.
Right. So yeah, if there's a game out there, especially one that's really heavy story driven with multiple directions and go, really appreciate the ones that did that and brought it forward.
Hmm.
I just can't wrap my head around it, to be honest with you. How did they figure out all these factors? I mean, it's like, okay, now we come to this. This is where you have a decision to make. Either A or B, or some cases A, B, C, D, and E. It's like, and then you go off of that. Then each one of those have decisions. Each one of those have decision, and maybe they cross. It's like, that's one hell of a whiteboard you got to work on to map this
Yeah,
out.
and the development doesn't happen overnight either.
No,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, just that and by itself, you can see why some of these games take so long to uh to get out.
Yeah, because they have to plan everything from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they have to develop a new engine from the ground up.
Mm-hmm. This old one can't handle it no more.
Nope. I mean, just like your house, there comes a point where you have to do some maintenance. You have to do some TLC to the house. Even your car, you have to make sure that you do maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys have anything else to say about this article, please say it. If not, we will start promoting each other.
I'm done.
No, I don't have anything more to say about it, to be honest.
Cash,
Right.
cashew.
He's
Cashew,
here.
yeah.
He's here. He's here. You know that.
Maybe. He might have left. He might have gone for that kale wrapped tofu teriyaki style.
Well,
Our
you,
moving
you never,
car
you
is.
never, you never know. He could be in the car right now listening to us.
Maybe.
He's sneaky like that.
Going down the Kentucky Fried Tofu. Yeah.
Yeah, while he's
So-
driving, yeah.
So,
Wish
Jace,
you'll afford him after speak.
as our guest co-host today, why don't you go ahead and promote yourself?
Well, yeah, of course. As always, you can find me on 540 Studio, the channel, and you can also find me with Comic Relief Crusader, normally on Tuesdays and Fridays. We will be back on the Beyond soon, and I will start up the shows up soon. Right now, I'm just dealing with the death of my granddad again. I hate to mention it multiple times, but that's why it's going to be a little bit longer break than I had planned out. But after everything is sorted out and fixed right there with the family and with gotten over everything that we need to do, we will be back with season 4 of The Beyond and a new season of course, Skullcast, and also have a lot of other works that I will release, and with other shows we will release at some point this year. I still am gonna do re-edits of stuff because a lot of people, they still want to see what I did with the Acolyte, and people had lined up to watch it and review it. So I will do that all over again and finish it. And also, I'm gonna do other re-edit projects just for fun because I have a great time doing it. And when I have nothing to do, well, it's just fun to edit and create something out of it. But yeah, next Sunday at least, I'm gonna be with Vinyl Revival on his Rumble show, Vinyl Revival's show, where we are gonna interview one good friend of mine called Håkon Didriksen, aka Memnock. He's coming back there to talk about new music. We're gonna showcase some music and deep dive more into his story about the world of music and origin, even though yes, I know basically everything, but uh it's for the other people who doesn't know and who are into this kind of metal music that the fans of Fine Revival has. So it's gonna be me, uh, Vinyl, and just so I don't fuck up his name, Pope Metal. We are gonna have a great time that Sunday talking about some music and other stuff. So I'm really excited for it. I will share the link when it's going live. Um, and other than that, as I always say before we wrap up something, just remember that life's too short, make the most of it. And we on this panel, we love you and appreciate you. And none of us could have been here today if it wasn't for all of you alphas out there. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the inspiration. It means the world to us. And we will see you again next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jace. Really appreciate it, brother. Ed Baron Orman Tag of Baron Orman Tag's Fandom Legacy.
Yeah, I'm sure that when Cash gets out of ICU, we'll be beginning up the Cranky Old Fans for 2025. So be on the lookout for news on that one. And that's a Rumble exclusive series because, well, Cash and I are snobs. That usually takes place on Tuesdays, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock Pacific. And so when it gets going, expect to look for us there. And of course, I hope to have another exciting episode of Contraband Police out there as well. Other than that, Chase took care of what I normally have to do. So I bring it back to you, Mike. Back to you, Mike.
All righty. Appreciate it, Baron. I'm just getting everybody's links out to the various chats.
Oh, yeah. And also, don't know when we're going back to gaming on Friday. So Friday Night Hooligans. So, again, we'll have to wait for Cash to get out of the ICU.
I'm sure Cash will let us both know when we'll start doing that again, and I look forward to it either way.
I don't know, guys. It's just, playing games is hard.
It's not hard. I am looking forward to the game that we're going to be streaming together when we do get back to our Friday night game streams. That's for sure. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying what game it is. I'm just saying I'm looking forward.
Okay, squirrel with a gun. Okay, I broke down. The squirrel with a gun. Sorry, I couldn't hold off anymore.
What am I going to do with this guy?
You know it's a real game, right?
I don't know, Baron.
No, it's a real game. I seen gameplay on it. Squirrel with a gun. It's a legitimate game.
Oh, all right. I'm looking it up.
With a gun.
It's not that I don't believe you. I'm curious. You got my curiosity piqued.
Okay, do it, man. It's ridiculous. I don't mind that you're checking up on it. It only makes me chuckle even harder. Really.
All right, I'm looking it up. Like I said, it's not that I don't believe you. You got my curiosity piqued. All right. We'll look at the trailer for it real quick before I tell everybody what's coming up.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Hey, at least I didn't say that, sex with game. That's Phil McCracken.
Yeah, that's Phil McCracken's thing.
Oh, jeez. Please don't. Because, Phil's listening, and he'll say, yeah, Pacific, I want you to play it. No, I'm not playing it. I'm not playing that game on the stream.
He'll gift you.
All right. So. Let's see what this game's all about. Appreciate you guys.
I love this game. I've seen some friends of mine play it, and it's just so fucking fun.
The Squirrel Revolution.
Okay, so we got some CIA, FBI looking guy. That's me.
There's Cash.
I am gonna get the game at some point myself. Play it. Yeah, I've seen Sir Talks a lot, play it a lot, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, this is so ridiculous, but it's funny.
It is.
Can we get a movie of this?
Now he's got the secret code.
He's got a mind.
So when the bad guys come for some fun, he won't think twice to just unload. Well,
putting that on my wish list. I'm
Yep.
legitimately gonna put it on my wish list.
Same here, dude. I think this game is fantastic. When I saw people play it, it's just like, dude, this is enough and good comedy and funness, everything that I like. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna open up Steam. I'm gonna put it on my wish list. Give me a second to do that.
Why did I open
That looks like a game you could just have fun with for hours.
Mm-hmm. The Squirrel Overlords. I like the little bomb suit he was wearing too.
Yeah, that was funny. No. Yeah. There it is.
No, I came across that a while back on the old YouTube, and it's like, what the hell is this? And watching it, it's like, this is so freaking ridiculous.
All right. It's been added, and if you don't believe me,
Oh, I believe you.
Oh no.
This is right up your alley. This is right up your alley.
Yeah. It is. That's the funny part. It's right up my alley, as you said. All right. So these are the games I currently have on my wish list.
He's not trying to sell you guys to buy it for him. No.
No. I'm not afraid to show what I have on my wish list. What I
Well, this is my
would like
wish
to play
list. So if
eventually.
you want to be nice, I would appreciate
No,
it. But I'm not
no,
saying
no.
anything. No.
No, Cash.
It's nothing. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like
Yeah,
that.
I know. I'm
I'm just showing what games I would like to play in the future. Games that I might possibly stream here on the channel in the future. I'm not asking for anybody to buy the game for me.
Cash, if you want to get on his good side, hink, wink, wink, nudge, say no more, right there. Yeah.
But there you see it. It is now on my wish list. Although you know what game I am thinking about buying and streaming? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind.
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna
getting
buy
mixed.
that
It's
too.
getting mixed reviews, but I'm still gonna take a chance to play it because I like side-scrolling beat 'em ups.
Same here. It's on my list.
That's
too.
why I'm surprised you weren't going to go with G.I. Joe, The Wrath of Cobra. Cobra!
Oh, I have it on my list.
I know it's on your list. I'm looking at your list right now.
And yes, I have Indiana Jones and The Great Circle on my list, but I'm not paying $70 for it. But anyways, as far as what's coming up on Pacific414 this week, whether it be on YouTube and Rumble or YouTube X and Rumble, on Tuesday and Thursday this week at 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be playing more of Shadow of Mordor. And I'm having a lot of fun playing that game so far.
It's
Thank
such
you
a
very
good
much,
game.
Baron.
Oh, you're most certainly welcome.
And then on the Wednesday edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk at 6 p.m. Eastern, we will be welcoming the Padawannabe as our special guest. And we'll talk to him about things like Lego, doing The Hill I Die on Apion's channel, and doing watch parties with Apion, and we'll also talk about Star Wars and other things he loves and what folks can expect on his channel in the future. So that'll be coming up for this week. And at this time, I do want to thank everybody who had stopped by. Hyperfusion Gear, thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And he says next sequel will be Bird with a gun flying through. That might actually be fun. Kitty Bear, thank you for stopping by, Kitty Bear, over on the Rumble side, and of course our special guest for this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, the Padawannabe. Thank you, brother. And as I scroll up here,
I keep on wanting to go do with Padawannabe. I know it's not proper, but
Of course, I want to thank Cash for taking time to stop by and join us in the chat. Thank you, Cash. Really appreciate it.
yeah, to cough on us and make us sick. Great, thank you.
He's not doing anything like that to us, Baron. Jet Sparks, thank you for stopping by, brother. Really appreciate it. And again, thank you for joining us this past Wednesday to watch Raiders and also The Last Crusade. And same goes to the Padawannabe. And also Anonymous, who joined us. And let's see. Tree Rock, thank you very much for stopping by and joining us. And folks, real quick, Tree Rock, with my permission, made a video.
What?
Yes, he did. He did a video of my last Indiana Jones gameplay, specifically getting through that last section. So let me go ahead and grab the link.
He's grabbing the links, people.
Let me just mute that. And folks, check out this video that Tree Rock took time to make. And while you're over there, consider subscribing to his channel. Great channel with great clips like that. And of course, some of you might watch that particular clip and go, that's not so great, Pacific. Are you kidding? I was going through that part for 2.5 hours. It was so frustrating.
How frustrating was it?
So frustrating. I did want to throw my controller, but it's like, no. Then you gotta buy a new one, and they're not cheap. So refrain from doing that. So go ahead and check out that video that Tree Rock did and subscribe to his channel. And thank you again, Tree Rock, for creating that video and also stopping by today. Really appreciate it. And speaking of saying thank you too, I want to thank Scott Westbrook for stopping by and also donating a $5 pair. With lifting weights. Yeah. He's building his muscle. Yeah, come on. He's not gonna be a flabby little pair. That's right. Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it. And as I scroll up here, I'm gonna go ahead and mention Jet Sparks again. Thank you, Jet Sparks.
Wow, a twofer.
And of course, we had our resident troll who likes to call Cash Baron and I Team Epic Fail, but we succeed more than we fail. Mr. McCracken. When we play multiplayer streams together, we succeed far more than we fail, especially against the rats.
Vermintide. Yeah, because we have a lot of practice. We deal with him.
True. And I want to thank DJ Ronnie G for stopping by. Really appreciate it, brother. And let's see. Also, Christian Fandom Geek, thank you for stopping by, taking time out of your day. Thank you very much, brother. Always great to see you. And let's see, who else do we have? Yes, Decepticons. Decepticons Cave of Collectibles. Yes, collect all those toys for Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. Don't you say anything, Baron Scream.
No, I'm not saying a word.
And of course, you're wrong was here. Wait a minute, I'm Mike. I'm right. I'm always right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. And he was our guest co-host this afternoon. And thank you for taking the time to join us, Jace. Really appreciate it, brother. And I also want to say thank you for stopping by to Stark of Iron. Thank you. Really appreciate it, brother. And let's see. And that looks like it was everybody. Let me just No, I just want to scroll down. Oh. No, we succeed. We succeed. More than we fail, Kitty Bear.
Mm-hmm.
We succeed.
Don't listen to that troll in the corner.
In Phil's mind, we succeed. But we succeed.
Yeah,
More than we fail.
It's Phil. It's Phil.
But again, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed what you watched. If you did, make sure to hit that like button over on YouTube and Rumble, or hit the like button on X. Make sure to subscribe to Jason Fox of 540 Studios. Also, Baron Orman Tags, Fandom Legacy, and Pacific414 on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And until next time, everybody, remember this. Don't ever give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something. Take care, all.
Bye.
Autobots, transform and roll out!
I'm not hitting end stream just yet in typical anonymous fashion. Look who finally says something. Look who finally says something, Mr. Romulan. Anonymous. 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 Now we'll leave you, folks.
Bye.
You have a good one. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I hope the week goes well for everybody.